is made, and he fumbles. Valley causes a fumble. It's picked up. Recovered by Mason Morris. Mason picks up where he left off last year, one of the leading rushers in Central Iowa.
It's time now for West Des Moines Valley High School football on the Central Iowa Sports Network. CISN.TV is Iowa's premier source for live-streamed high school football. High school football on CISN.TV is brought to you by Atlantic Bottlers, Schottenkirk Chevrolet, Shields, the Better Business Bureau, G&L Clothing. Now, let's go to our CISN.TV team for Valley Tiger High School football.
Great price, great selection, great experience. That's what people expect today. What isn't expected is how hard we work after the sale to keep your business. Hard work, honesty, integrity, discipline, trust, character. These core values are why we grow every year and why we continue to acquire more dealerships. Experience the Schottenkirk way of doing business and come visit our new Ford dealership in Indianola.
This is Iowa. And here, we don't just dream of a better tomorrow, of a smarter way to do business or live, of perseverance and progress. We inspire it in others. We challenge the conventional, reimagine what it means to be better, and then dare ourselves to make it great. This is Iowa, and here, we don't just dream, we make history.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau's seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa. Why do I?
A pleasant good evening to you, and for now, a dry evening. Hasn't been the case for the last hour and a half here at Valley Stadium. Good evening, everybody. Paul Yeager alongside Keith Bornes as we get you ready for kickoff. A little bit delayed. We're going to be closer to our original start time as of yesterday, 7:30. Then we kicked it back to 7, and now it's going to be more about 7:45. But we're here, and about an hour ago, we could not really see the field, Keith.
No, it's the first time I'd ever seen that much water in one place outside of the swimming pool. And it was all covered. I don't know if anybody saw your picture or not, but it was quite wet.
It was, that's very good. Good description there. The field, it's got those two shades of green.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't see them because they were just covered in water, and really you could only see that V that sits at the 50. But before the heavy stuff towards the end of it, and it started to let up, you could all of a sudden see between the two hashes, the green started to emerge as the water was pulled away. They've got good drainage here, and I think every dime they spent on it, I think Brad Rose is going, that was money well spent.
Well, yes, they talk about the drainage on here, that it could hold up to, if it ever rained that much, up to 14 inches of rain and get it gone within half an hour.
At the pace we were going to have
Yes.
14 inches for that 20 minutes there. It really poured. It had a lot of lightning, so you got to wait 30 minutes. So that's why we were just a little bit delayed. There are other games. There is no uniform start time tonight around Iowa, even if you are playing. Western Iowa, Council Bluffs, that's where Dowling Catholic is playing Council Bluffs Abe Lincoln. That's where Ankeny is playing Lewis Central tonight. Their game started early, and they're going to be on their way back, really, before we even kick off, the way things are going. 56-6 was the last check of the Dowling and Abe Lincoln score, and that was going into the third quarter. So they'll have continuous clock here. In this game, we'll have Indianola and Valley 5-1, 4-2, two very good teams evenly matched on paper again. We know what happened after last week when we had that set up.
Well, yes, it was a very thrilling end last week with Valley and Polk, but tonight it's going to be a very interesting game between the 20s again. The two teams that can move the ball well, two teams that at times look fantastic defensively. Both teams have some very good athletes. It's going to be an exciting ball game.
Dylan Hildreth is the leading rusher for the Indianola Indians. He's averaging 6 yards a carry. Javon Mason, 6.2 yards a carry. And Trey Fugate, Creighton Mitchell, all three of those guys will see action for Valley tonight. For Indianola, you also see Joe Hale and Cooper Huff. Cooper Huff actually not in the lineup tonight. He is out with a concussion. But the quarterback will be Joe Jensen. He's in his second year of starting for Coach Eric Kluver in the Indians. And he's a guy that just keeps them on the field, keeps them out of trouble, and keeps them moving the right direction.
He's a very good leader. And the nice thing about having a guy that's been there for a couple of years, you get comfortable behind him. And what he can do is make sure that everything just stays positive. If people start to get rattled, he brings them back together.
Kind of the way you do it.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I'm still working on you.
You're trying. Good luck with that. That's a monstrous task. Earlier tonight, if you think Keith looks like a drowned rat more than normal, he was outside. Did your mother not tell you to come in when it starts to rain?
Well, we were up at Valley.
Yeah.
And I decided to swim here. But, yeah, we had a game early. We were supposed to play down here at the stadium, but we didn't want to delay the game down here anymore. So we played up at Valley, and tonight we ruined a few footballs. They are wet, and Coach Swenson just said, throw them in the oven, they'll be fine.
Yeah, bake them up, and they're at the Family and Consumer Science wing at Valley High School. Or some mom comes home and, what do I cook these footballs at? Your managers are Googling how to fix a football in the oven.
Indeed.
Yeah. So your game was called after 3 quarters.
Yep.
This one, we're getting closer and closer to kickoff here. So we have a couple of business items to attend to, and that is to hear from both of the coaches. We'll hear from Eric Kluver first and Gary Swenson second as they get you ready tonight, and then Keith and I will come back. We'll break down we'll look at the starting lineups, and we'll have kickoff here. Let's see. It is coming up in 20-ish minutes, so we'll be ready for you in a little bit. You all right? Go try off a little bit more?
That's right. I'm ready.
All right. For Keith, I'm Paul. We're back after this. This is CISN.TV.
I opened the Hearing Clinic to offer patients and their families a positive healthcare experience. If you have trouble hearing clearly at church, at the movies, watching TV, or with your friends and family in a group conversation, what are you waiting for? In less than half an hour, we can give you peace of mind and answer any questions that you may have. Call us today to schedule your appointment. The Hearing Clinic, 515-440-3323. We listen, you hear.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury, whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Okay, ladies, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month and time for our annual mammograms. Call today to schedule yours. Iowa Radiology. Our focus is your good health. Okay, ladies, it's...
Miss your hometown clothing store? The one that had it all? Everything to get the work done, all in one place? G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us. Or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing. 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing, your size, your style, we've got it all.
So how do you get 16 and 17-year-olds to not focus on the weather and instead focus on an opponent?
Well, our guys, they know what's at stake tonight in the district race, and this is a very important game for us, and we know we're going against one of the top teams in the state. So, they're focused, and we've talked about the weather. We both got to play in it, no matter what. So there are no excuses. We just got to go out and follow our game plan and execute the way we have all year long.
Your team has been in some close games, but you've also had some blowouts. How's that happen?
Well, like everyone's schedule, you have some tougher teams on your schedule and others that aren't so tough. But I've been real proud of our team. I thought we've played hard all year long. Have we made all the plays that we needed to play? No. So, with 3 weeks to go, that's our focus, and those are our hopes. So, great opponent tonight. Valley's going to be a challenge, but our guys are looking forward to it.
Give the folks at home who they're going to be watching tonight. Tell us about your quarterback and your skill positions on the offensive side.
Yeah, Joe Jensen, he's a 2-year starter for us, really is he's our trigger man, and he's a leader of our offense. We feel real good about our backfield. Dylan Hildreth, Colby Kalarick. Dylan gets the brunt of the carries and is just a tough, undersized kid that runs extremely hard, and Colby is more of our blocking back, but has shown signs to do great things when he gets the ball. And I think we got some good targets on the outside. Cole Scott, 6'4" kid that has gone up and caught some critical balls in key moments in games for us. So we feel we have playmakers, just like Valley does. Just all about who wants to come out and do it in the rain tonight.
Talk about your defense. You've got a few two-way players, but up front, what do you got?
Well, yeah, we got quite a few guys going both ways. Up front, we really try to roll a lot of guys through, depending on what package we have in the game, whether it's an Eagle package with an extra down lineman or what we call our Okie package with an extra linebacker. So, but those guys get a lot of snaps on the offensive end too. So we feel good about them. We just gotta give ourselves a chance, get to the fourth quarter, and we're hoping it's a competitive game and see what we can do.
You had a game against Hoover, you said 54 carries for one of your running backs. Mm-hmm. Tonight could be one of those nights where you have 54 carries.
Yeah, I mean, it was a situation where we really had a hard time stopping Hoover, and we didn't want to give them the ball back with an incomplete pass. They had a hard time stopping our run, so we just kept feeding Dylan Hildreth, and yes, he ended up with 54 carries and 370 some yards. So he definitely can do it, and maybe tonight's another night for that.
I asked Gary this: what's the wettest game you can remember coaching?
Sioux City East in 2008, without a doubt. Standing water at Buxton Stadium in Indianola, and but it was a good game because we ended up winning that one.
So that one sticks out in your mind. Right. As a player, do you remember any of those Saturday afternoons or Friday nights when you played at Ankeny where you had some wet games?
Absolutely. Ironically, it was Indianola, and it was my junior year, and Chris Street was the quarterback, and it was a grass field at that time, and it was an awfully fun game to play in. A lot of mud, a lot of rain, so that would be my one from high school for sure.
Took a while for your mom to get the uniform clean. Tonight, it's just those little black tire things. They don't get as muddy as they used to.
Yeah, the days of mud and all that, the guys don't really get to realize and understand what mud was really like. They're spoiled now with all the turf fields, and we practice on turf, and Valley practices on turf, so they really don't understand that and the challenges of stretching in the mud and the standing water. But yeah, things have changed, that's for sure.
All right, you're playing a Valley team tonight. Another Lombardi at quarterback. You told me earlier this week, just where do you begin when it comes for weapons? So where do you start?
Well, yeah, we've got to eliminate and really try to eliminate the big play. That's something that really hurt us last year, and they have so many weapons and so many areas on the field, from their wide receivers to their backs to their quarterback, and you just got to play sound defense, and I think it's critical that we're able to make tackles in open field tonight, because I know they're going to challenge us there on the edge, and we've got to be able to come up and make those tackles. If not, they're going to be big gainers, and it's going to hurt us all night long.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Yep, thanks a lot.
head coach, there we go. I'm on the wrong mic. I'm on 2 tonight, Keith. That's head coach Eric Kluver of the Indianola Indians. And you could hear in the background, we recorded that earlier, and it was starting to rain, and that was the rain hitting the stands. We'll talk to Gary Swenson right after this. Coming your way, Valley and Indianola on CISN.TV.
Many times at the Lodge of Ashworth, new members come to us from their big, beautiful homes. They find our spacious 2- and 3-bedroom suites to be an ideal fit. We have a limited number of these larger and penthouse-style suites, perfect for the retiring executive style living. We have suites ready for immediate move-in, or we can help you customize. The Lodge of Ashworth is all-inclusive, no surprise additional fees or upcharges. Call us today for a private tour and ask us about our flexible pricing plans. Many times at the Lodge of Ashworth...
The other guys, they think they know what special means. At Godfather's Pizza, we do special, and we do it better. We add the T. There's a Godfather specialty pizza with your name on it. Classic combo, all-meat combo, hot stuff, taco, yeah, even veggie and more. All of them piled high with the best toppings and 100% real cheese. Treat yourself special. Order specialty pizzas from Godfather's Pizza.
The value of staying active cannot be overlooked in our lives or our young athletes. However, high-intensity workouts come with the risk of injury. If you or your child have sustained a sports injury, Select Physical Therapy in conjunction with Iowa Ortho are here to help with 2 convenient walk-in locations.
From diagnosis through recovery, you'll be put directly into the hands of experts who will evaluate and treat your sports-related injury.
Call us today for an evaluation.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
When you coach, you're all about trying to prepare the players for like the unexpected. So how do you prepare for the unexpectedness of weather?
Well, you just have to talk about it, and you have to minimize the impact it's going to have on them. As a coach, you've got to get them to believe that they can play through it, and it's not going to be a factor. What you don't want is for anybody to use it as an excuse. You know, both teams are always out in the elements. That's part of football. You start playing in August when it's 90 degrees, and you finish in November when you got a snowmobile suit on. So if you can't deal with that stuff, you should be coaching or playing something else, because that's just part of the game. And what we're hoping doesn't happen tonight would be some type of delay because of lightning. You know, rain, we'll play through the rain at any level, but you get lightning in the area, now you got to go sit in the locker room, and that's what I hope doesn't happen. Those nights are tough because then the kids cool off, you lose the focus, it's a challenge. So we'll play through the rain, and if the lightning stays away, you know, that's just the weather today, so we'll deal with it.
What's the wettest game you can remember in your coaching career?
Well, we've, you know, over 40 years, there's been a lot of Friday nights in rain, and I'm not sure I can. That's a good question. I'd have to think about that one. But the ones I remember are the ones where we had to stop and then go sit, and we've had delays over an hour, you know. And then if you get going, some Friday nights you're playing at midnight just to get the game done. The nice thing in this area is if you have to come back on a Saturday, it's not a long trip. So if that's what goes down, that's what goes down. You just got to get your team to believe that when they step between those lines and the ball's kicked off, they got to focus on the game, because you can really start to have a pity party out there if you can't hang on to the ball and you let the rain dictate your performance.
Well, then how do you think about play calling then differently? Because if you like to throw the ball and all of a sudden you can't throw the ball, do you have to take the word can't out of that equation?
Well, you might have to be selective in what you try to throw. Sure. I mean, if you got a deluge coming down, a lot of those pass plays that you might dial up on a nice night might not be very effective. So, you know, when we used to play on natural grass, the mud would be advantageous to throw in because the receivers knew where they were cutting and the defense didn't. On this stuff, you know, we've got a great playing surface here. It drains well. I mean, you know, you just play through it.
You come off a double overtime thriller in the same spot. You have very little time to celebrate. How long do you let them celebrate something like that?
Oh, we got right back to work on. We bring the kids in on Sunday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We look at the video, do some lifting, a little conditioning, just to try to get the kinks out and get their heads focused on the next week. I don't know that there's any. I think the most happy time is Friday night, right after the game, in the locker room, when you can share that victory with your teammates. Beyond that, it fades in a hurry, you know, and you've got to move on. And just as coaches, we're working immediately on Saturday morning. Because now by this time of the season, you got hours of video you can go through, and you have to be a little selective on what you're going to look at because you can waste a lot of time.
In that game, what would you watch? What did you watch to see, okay, this is what we did right, maybe this is what we didn't do right? I mean, you kind of know, hey, we left maybe 10 points on the field.
We left a lot of points on the field, and, you know, it was execute. Every coach says that, and it's true. You know, if you execute, and when a coach says that, he's talking about all 11 guys doing their job. And with high school football, if you have a breakdown, you can find one or two guys who messed up, you know, maybe missed a block or didn't execute the play like you have practiced it all week. And then things go south. And that happened to us more than one time Friday. But that's like I said, right now, we're a team that is getting better. I do not know what our ceiling is. I just know that we're good enough to beat some good teams. These games are a challenge. Indianola's 4-2. We're 5-1. We've played a tougher schedule. Does that matter tonight? I sure as heck hope it does. But you never know. I mean, it's one of the things that frustrates me, and it's one of the things that I like about high school football. That's just kids. You know, you better be able to try and maintain their focus and keep them on track.
Because all of a sudden, just like right now, from the beginning of your answer, it starts to unload, getting them on track and keeping them focused is your job regardless of the weather. All right, so tonight, Indianola, you've got a team that not a lot of stats stand out for them, but they're still, as you said, a team that's 4-2.
Well, Coach Kluver does a great job there. I've always said that in this area, in 4A football, he does more with less every year because their numbers are usually a little less than everybody else's. They've had some great individuals over the years, but they're well coached and they're tough and they'll come at you. And on a night like tonight, if you can't get up on top of them, they're going to stay and hang around. And then if you get weather, anything can happen. So I'm hoping we can hit some plays and get on the scoreboard early. We would like a night where we can dictate what's going to happen. We've had to be reactive all year and come from behind and try to make up for mistakes. And it'd be nice for some Friday night to not have to do that.
Yeah, but isn't that character building?
Well, we've got all kinds of character right now. We would just like to be able to go out and really feel like when the game is over that was a good 4 quarters for our team. That's what we're looking for tonight.
And you're also trying to set the table for November.
Well, sure. We should be getting better. I mean, this is game 7, and we've been practicing for over 2 months now, and it's time. I mean, I don't know what more we can hope to impact in a daily practice. This time of year, it's about keeping your players on the field, keeping them healthy, and trying to exploit what you do well. So if you got some really good players, you got to get them the ball and then let them play.
And we talked earlier in the week about 3 running backs. You had them injured at different times of the year. Now all of a sudden we're kind of all together as a unit in your backfield. What does that mean?
Well, it means that Javon Mason is still our bell cow running back. He just is. We got to get him going. It also means that Trey Fugate and Creighton Mitchell are going to play. They're very talented. And we had them all 3 in there at the beginning of the year. Then all 3 of them got hurt. Now we're coming back where we have them available. It's hard to put all those eggs in one basket again because then if something reoccurs from an injury standpoint, you're scrambling, and we don't want to get back to that point. So we're thrilled to have them. They're quality kids and quality players. Now, how much they will all get done tonight, I don't know. But I know this. If we can get those 3 guys the ball enough, something's going to happen.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's head coach Gary Swenson of the Valley Tigers, and those are your pregame looks from Eric Kluver and Gary Swenson. We are getting closer and closer to kickoff here finally. We have a dry slot, I guess is what they would call that in the weather business, and we're getting closer to having high school football here on CISN.TV. You can flip on over to watch Sioux City North and Johnston on the other feed here at the network, or you can put two screens up. Watch us both. We're coming your way with kickoff in a couple of moments. This is the Central Iowa Sports Network.
When people visit the Lodge of Ashworth, they fall in love with our grounds. They're impressed with our dining room, but it is our spacious 2 and 3 bedroom suites that attract the most attention. With bay windows, full kitchens, large walk-in closets, and modern appliances, the Lodge feels like home. We have suites move-in ready, or we will help you customize. Create a home office, media room, or bedroom for visiting friends or family. Call us today for a private tour and ask about our flexible pricing plans.
Price, great selection, great experience. That's what people expect today. What isn't expected is how hard we work after the sale to keep your business. Hard work, honesty, integrity, discipline, trust, character. These core values are why we grow every year and why we continue to acquire more dealerships. Experience the Schottenkirk way of doing business and come visit our new Ford dealership in Indianola. Great price.
And here, we don't just dream of a better tomorrow, of a smarter way to do business or live, of perseverance and progress. We inspire it in others. We challenge the conventional, reimagine what it means to be better, and then dare ourselves to make it great. This is Iowa, and here, we don't just dream, we make history.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game, Shields.
Welcome back to Valley Stadium here on the Central Iowa Sports Network, CISN.TV. We're at Valley Stadium. We're waiting for the two teams to come back out onto the field as they have their final preparations, and we've come back just in time for the national anthem. So the Valley March Masters are not on the field tonight, but they're in the stands. So we will step aside and have starting lineups after this.
Cancer Awareness Month and time for our annual mammograms. Call today to schedule yours. Iowa Radiology. Our focus is your good health. Okay, ladies.
It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
I opened the Hearing Clinic to offer patients and their families a positive healthcare experience. If you have trouble hearing clearly at church, at the movies, watching TV, or with your friends and family in a group conversation, what are you waiting for? In less than half an hour, we can give you peace of mind and answer any questions that you may have. Call us today to schedule your appointment. The Hearing Clinic, 515-440-3323. We listen, you hear.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Cancer Awareness Month and time for our annual mammograms. Call today to schedule yours. Iowa Radiology. Our focus is your good health. Okay, ladies.
We're back at senior night. Hard to believe. Game number 4 of the home slate for the Valley Tigers features the Indianola Indians at 4-2 and the Valley Tigers at 5-1. Hello, everybody. Paul Yeager alongside Keith Bornas and the crew here at CISN.TV as we get you ready for Class 4A District 4 football between the Indians and the Tigers. And Indianola comes off a 44-14 win at Marshalltown last week, whereas the Tigers, Keith, come off a 41-34 double overtime, dare I say, thriller.
Yes, you may say thriller. It was a great game. I don't want to say it was a great game all the way through. There was a lull in the middle of it for a little while. Valley started off fast. Polk got very fast. They both kind of slowed down. Valley took over. Polk came back. I'd say the last 8 minutes were as exciting as we've seen.
And the overtime came down to the final play. Southeast Polk on 3rd down called for intentional grounding. It's pretty obvious when you watched it in real time and then when you watched it on tape. The Rams had a chance from the 20. And a shot made by Victor Areola saved the game as he turns away Nate Flynn. And the Tigers are able to preserve a 41-34 win. So how do you celebrate? You celebrate for just a little bit that night and you get right on focus because this is another district game. Part of the reason we're still here is because this game matters in determining who plays in November.
Absolutely. And there's another game that matters not too far from here, that being Polk and Newton. And I would say that the teams that come out on top tonight would put themselves in the driver's seat.
And that is a game we'll watch as it goes on at last check. Polk was leading Newton 14-0, and that was in the first quarter. Here, we're going to have our coin toss in the middle of the field, and then we will have kickoff. And they already know who won the coin toss. They have this about 6 minutes ago. But I couldn't quite tell who it was, but you'll be able to see it unfold in front of you. But tonight, Bo Lombardi, he could crack the 1,000-yard passing mark. He's at 9-11, so he just needs a few yards to get there. Joe Jensen, he is 97 of 56 for 838 yards, and if you're Coach Gary Swenson, you don't want to see him get over 1,000 tonight on you.
No, not so much. One of the things that Valley seems to have done pretty well this year, but it is their pass coverage. The defensive backs are in the correct spot. They're making plays, but it hasn't been consistent. And so there have been a few quarterbacks that have put it up through the air, and there have been some big plays. But when you take out the big play aspect, if you can just subtract those, famous last words, if you could just subtract those big plays, the rest of the game, Valley's really controlled defensively.
And they are going to have to face the likes of Cole Scott, Dylan Hildreth, and Colby Kolark. And Brandon Newman are the leading receivers for the Indians with their pass thrower, Joe Jensen. And Tariq Brown, the leading receiver for the Valley Tigers, not in the lineup tonight. He is on concussion protocol. Or I'm sorry, Tariq Brown is in the lineup. Jalen Long is the one out. And Ryan New, who had a huge game last week. You could call that a coming out party. I think everybody knew was the real deal, and he proved it last Friday night. The Tigers will receive, and they will send back Javon Mason. He stands at his own 5. And Indianola will kick it off here. Go from right to left. And their kicker is Parker Hansen. He tees it up. All white uniforms for the Indians, and the Tigers in their home black tops and white pants. As we get you started around 45, this will be about the normal start time on many nights, 7:45. We'll call it West Coast time, and the kick is a high short one, going to be taken by Mason at the 10. He goes to the left, kind of delayed in his run, kind of waiting for blocks to develop, and he gets up to about the 28-yard line, and there's a penalty flag. So before we even get any further, we'll see where this one goes. So I can't even tell you we're going to start at the 27, but the Valley off.
Half the distance to the goal line. First down, Valley.
So it'll go all the way back half the distance from where that penalty, the flag is at the 24, so they'll mark that back off. They go into the 12, Keith. Is that about right? Yeah, that'll start it at the 12.
We do have a mathematician in the building tonight, Roger Scott, just a few doors down. So if we struggle, we'll go get him.
He was holding court earlier with us.
Yeah.
Learned a lot tonight. Lombardi comes out with Javon Mason next to him. Mason, one of those seniors honored before the game. Brown goes in motion. The first give is to Mason, and he gets up a couple of yards before he is brought down right there in the middle. And that's Berkeley Sandquist, the bandit position.
Indianola did a great job up front. Defensive line did a nice job getting into their gaps, and Mason just really never had a chance to get going on it.
2nd down and 8. Mason gets the handoff, tries to go off right tackle, breaks one, gets a nice block, stiff arms a man up to about the 20, for he is hog-tied down by Colby Kolarek.
Great job by Indianola stretching out that play. Mason, as Coach Swenson was talking in the pregame, if you feed him the ball enough, something's going to happen, and Indianola certainly seems to be prepared right now, putting a key on him and pinning him up.
So Valley has the football at their own 18-yard line. 3rd and 4, need to get outside the 20 to about the 23. Play action, Lombardi has time, and it's thrown. And I think there was some confusion there. Ryan knew not the intended receiver, but Luke Matney. And it'll be a punting situation here for the Tigers. They go 3 and out.
Yeah, a little bit of a short hop there as Matney was coming on a crossing pattern. They did have Carson Shelton out of that fullback position heading into the flats, but incomplete just the same.
Kick returner for the Indians is Evan Gogger, and it's a high kick headed right for the sideline, but it holds up and then takes a Tiger, an anti-Tiger, but a pro-Indian to the 40, and it is incredible field position. It's just like what Polk had last week, Keith.
Yes, they had great starting position all night. The punter on that was Javon Mason. He came out and did a rugby-style punt. And, Paul, I've watched Mason punt in practice. He's got a tremendous leg. But right now, he just kind of moves like he's going through the motions, not necessarily having the excitement.
No. I was kind of thinking that same thing. Even on the kick return, he was a little slow. Actually, the ball's at the 39 of Valley. Great field position. And the Indians will come out with Joe Jensen in the shotgun, sends a man in motion. And the first read is going to go to the tailback, Dylan Hildreth, and the Tigers had that one sniffed out. Loss of 1 on the play.
Julius Amafidon was in on that tackle, and it was a driving tackle. Those legs were churning.
Smaller crowd here tonight, but they are a hearty bunch. Right now, there's not even any mist really falling. It is just a fine shaker assault. They go right away to the first man through, and that is Colby Kolarek, and he is tackled after about 2-yard gain. Out there would be Connor Shelton.
Connor Shelton's done a great job out at that corner position. He's played against some great wide receivers this year and done a remarkable job mirroring and defending. But you have to have people up in front of you that are going to make sure that those blockers don't get downfield so you can come up and make tackles.
Indians facing a 3rd and 9. In motion. Passing situation thrown across the middle, and the intended receiver was Brandon Newman. Gogger went in motion, and then they went away from him towards Newman, incomplete, and pretty long field goal attempt. So now you're going to try to pin, and again, we'll see a rugby-style kicker. And it is this is a different punter. This is Peyton Boozell. He's off their sophomore squad. Their regular punter out with a concussion. And you're going to see his first varsity action right here on this play. And look for it to be a roll and kick. And that's what he gets done. Boozell, great kick. Unfortunately, it bounces for him 5 yards into the end zone. It'll be touchback, so you'll only have a flip of about 18 yards. Ball will come out to the 20 for the Tigers.
Paul, that kind of looked like your golf swing. You know how
line drive.
every now and again when you just kind of sit back, relax, and let everything happen, the ball just seems to take off on you.
Well, the wind has died down. There's really no wind to speak of. We had some during that monsoon that fell. Right now, we're sitting at about 64 degrees with a light mist. We are going to hold in this weather pattern till about 10 o'clock. So we need that clock to move if we're going to see if we can get this game in. Tigers come out. 2 receivers left and right. Mason next to Lombardi. Brown in motion. They go Mason through the right tackle. He tries to put a move on Berkeley Sandquist, and he had nothing to do with that. Makes the stop. Nice play by Berkeley.
And there was a hole there. I mean, it's one of the times where Valley's offensive line has gotten out into their man. They've created some, they got into their guys. Offensively, you want to get into your man. Defensively, you want to create space. And Valley got into their guys and moved it a little bit. Mason just seems to need to get it into that next gear.
Delayed handoff again, and he just burst through the seam. And I'll tell you what, that was a great tackle by number 22, Colby Kolarik. Mason put on the brakes after stepping on the accelerator, and Kolarik had nothing to do with that, and he made that nice stop.
You know, and it's one of those things where all teams spend a lot of time explaining where you need to focus in on the ball carrier so that you don't get juked out of your socks or anything like that. And he did a great job focusing in on that ball.
Mason enough for a first down. Tigers have it at the 31-yard line. They're on the move. Lombardi play action goes outside, and it's going to be caught and tackled just like that. Creighton Mitchell, and that's going to be a loss of almost 3 yards.
Anytime you use that swing pass out to your backs or your
Rubel the tackle. Go ahead.
And get out to some of those wing players. Depending on your pre-snap reads, sometimes you got to get that ball out faster so that your playmakers have an opportunity to start with the ball in space.
Back to the 27, go the Tigers. Lombardi looks to the right, steps under, throws it. Mason on the screen, and then a great open field tackle by Mike Clavel. He is the team leader in tackles, and that was great form right there.
You know, Coach Kluver has done a remarkable job at Indianola since he's been taken over several years ago. And you can always tell a defense that is coached by him, they are doing a remarkable job reading their keys and understanding that, hey, we're getting upfield a little easy here. We need to spy that back and see where he's at.
Coach Kluver played defense in college. Out to Tariq Brown, caught at the 30. Brown makes one guy miss, but not a second time as the tackle made. Number 40 for the Indians is Jay Hale. Ball up to the 39. It's decision time, 4th and about 2.
On that play, Lombardi was able to get the ball out to those playmakers so much faster, and Tariq Brown started in space. And instead of having the 2-yard loss on those like the previous one, he was able to get a 5-yard gain.
Valley's going to go for it on 4th down. Trips to the right. Mason gets it on the draw. Goes up the middle, has the first down and then some. The scrum goes up to the 45-yard line. He needed 2. He got 5.
And that one seemed like Mason kind of had a little more drive into it. Maybe I just needed his socks to dry out.
Have yours dried out yet?
Not yet.
Quick tempo for the Tigers up to the 45 on a drive that started back on their own 20. 5:44 to go. Play action across the middle, and it's complete to Tariq Brown at about the middle of that V, which about 2 hours ago I couldn't see. It was covered in water, but man, this turf dried in a hurry.
That wasn't necessarily a huge gain, but Tariq Brown did such an amazing job forming up the ball, and he was able to wall off the defensive the linebacker that was behind him.
8th play of the drive for the Tigers. Ball at the 49. Lombardi to pass again. Lots of time. Throws to the coaching staff on the near sideline. Incomplete. We'll do it again. 5:08 for 3rd down.
He threw that right at Coach Dixon. And Coach Dixon, we played here back in the early thousands, teens maybe. Anyway, he should have caught that. He didn't even make an effort at it.
It's like it didn't even matter if he caught it or dropped
I know.
it. You know? 3rd and 6. Tigers need to get to the 45 of Indianola. Lombardi throws. It's caught by number 6, Luke Matney is what his mother calls. He needed 5. He got 6.
And again, Southeast or Indianola.
Habits die
I
hard.
know it. My gosh, Indianola. Their defensive backs are playing a little bit far off the ball. They're going to give up. Coach Cleaver was talking about before the game. We know there's going to be playmakers. You just don't want to give up big plays. They're backed off. The hitch is there. The rim route is there. The flare route is there. They just want to keep everything in front of them.
2 backs next to Lombardi. Fumble on the snap. He's just going to call fire and go forward and get to about the line of scrimmage. In fact, he'll lose a yard. And let's get a couple of guys we haven't talked about. Miles Berg and also, let's see, Jacob Lepper was in there as well. So that'll be a run for Lombardi, and they will give him basically back to the line of scrimmage, so no gain. Ball will be at the Indianola 44, 2nd and 10, as the Tigers look to the near sideline. Same formation, looks like maybe even the same play call. Mason goes out for the flare, and it's tipped and nearly picked off. Matney was the intended receiver. Looked like a screen, but not in the middle of the play, but more off to the right where the numbers were at.
Yeah, kind of that tunnel screen approach where you're going to bring your lineman out and block that the right edge, and then you bring your wide receiver back in underneath that. When he catches it, he's going to run upfield. But kind of like we were talking about with Mason at the very start, we're just kind of going through the motions. I haven't seen our receivers pick up the pace just enough yet either.
Trying to lull you to sleep, I guess, maybe with that soft hand. Lombardi to throw. Caught, 1st down, Luke Matney. He's at the 30, 20, it's a race to the corner, 10, 5, makes a dive to the pylon. He'll be out at the 2. Luke Matney, a gain of 42 yards.
He must have heard me. They, great job clearing everybody downfield. The nice thing about a Lombardi in your backfield throwing the ball is you're not really going to outrun his arm. And so that was a deep completion of the 40 yards that were covered there. 20 of it was in the air.
Mason through the big hole, put through the line for a Tiger touchdown. Javon Mason from 2 caps a drive that started all the way back on the 20. An 80-yard drive for the Tigers, and the big play on 3rd down was a 42-yard pass play to Luke Matney. And the Tigers are celebrating at the 3:30 mark. The extra point is good. Tigers lead 7-0. This is CISN TV.
Miss your hometown clothing store, the one that had it all, everything to get the work done, all in one place? G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us, or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing, your size, your style, we've got it all.
New members come to us from their big, beautiful homes. They find our spacious 2- and 3-bedroom suites to be an ideal fit. We have a limited number of these larger and penthouse-style suites, perfect for the retiring executive style living. We have suites ready for immediate move-in, or we can help you customize. The Lodge of Ashworth is all-inclusive, no surprise additional fees or upcharges. Call us today for a private tour and ask us about our flexible pricing plans.
Javon Mason has 24 yards rushing unofficially for this game. He also has Valley's only score. Tigers lead 7-0 as the kickoff is taken by the Indians back inside the 10, still on his feet to the 10, 15, 30, 35-yard line. Great return for the Indians and Dylan Hildreth, and he is the guy. If you get him an open field, he can really cause some problems. 54 carries against Hoover earlier this season.
Well, that just proves that you're a workhorse, and all 54 of those carries are not going to be in space. You know he's going to be running through some pretty tough holes, and he's going to have to drag some people, and he made some great contact on that kick return and fell forward about 5 yards.
Ball starts at the 35-yard line of Indianola, their worst position to start this game. The pass is thrown, and that's saying something when you're at the 35. That's just kind of being funny. Cole Scott, the catch. And Scott gets 5. Ball up to the 41, gave a gain of 6. Ball up to the 41 of the Indians. 7-0, just under 3 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Valley Stadium, we're dry for now. Trips to the left, receiver to the top, Hildreth behind. And they give to Hildreth, and he is just wrapped up, but still falls forward for a good yard or two, making the stop. 88 and 49, or as their mothers like to call them, Logan Kruzman and Darius Manuel.
And those are two pretty big guys to get wrapped up by and still drag forward.
Gain of 1, and then still on his feet somehow, near side, still running. Colby Kolarik down into Tiger territory, down to the 12-yard line. I think everybody in the building thought he stepped out at the 44. Quick play on 3rd and 3.
A great effort by Clark. He was stopped. Valley had a defender out there, pushed him back, was able to avoid that, run around. Snyder, linebacker for Valley, had him 2 different times and tackled him on a 3rd one.
I formation, handoff Hildreth, and he again falls up to about the 15. Gain of about 3 on the play. Ball will be put at the Valley 10-yard line.
It cannot be very easy sledding through that defensive line right now. McCudden's in there, Darius Manuel's in there. These are some big guys that have had a lot of experience playing. They know how to make tackles, they know how to plug holes, and yet Indianola is pushing forward.
Jensen calls it out, gives it Hildreth. Actually, that's not Hildreth. That is the other back they're planning on using tonight, and that's Jay Hale. Hale gets across the 10, but into the 9, and it'll be 3rd and long for the Indians as we're under a minute now. It's a good rotation there through for Indianola.
Very good rotation. There's some stout young lads, to say the least.
Halftime score, Johnston 35, Sioux City North 0. And here it's 7-0, Valley in the lead, but Indianola's knocking on the door, facing a 3rd and 8. Joe Jensen, passing situation, looks to the right. Here comes the blitz. Wow! Logan Kruzman. I don't think anybody saw him, but he saw Joe Jensen in his sights the entire time. Jensen had no chance.
He didn't. When you don't see him coming, and they're coming that fast, it doesn't leave you a lot of opportunity.
So now Indianola before the clock strikes the end of the first quarter. They don't get the playoff, so we'll go to the other end of the field when we come back. Second quarter action on CISN coming your way next.
They think they know what special means. At Godfather's Pizza, we do special, and we do it better. We add the T. There's a Godfather specialty pizza with your name on it. Classic combo, all meat combo, hot stuff, taco, yeah, even veggie and more. All of them piled high with the best toppings and 100% real cheese. Treat yourself special. Order specialty pizzas from Godfather's Pizza.
The value of staying active cannot be overlooked in our lives or our young athletes. However, high-intensity workouts come with the risk of injury. If you or your child have sustained a sports injury, Select Physical Therapy in conjunction with Iowa Ortho are here to help with 2 convenient walk-in locations.
From diagnosis through recovery, you'll be put directly into the hands of experts who will evaluate and treat your sports-related injury.
Call us today for an evaluation.
We've played 1 quarter of football. Valley leads Indianola 7-0 in Keith, a much shorter first quarter tonight.
I was going to say we've watched longer first quarters. There have been some brutally
This
long. Yeah. There have been 8-day long quarters.
Ball will be placed at the 15. The ball would be put down out of Jensen's hold here for a 32-yard field goal, and it doesn't get over the line. It's blocked by the Tigers. The Parker Hansen field goal attempt is no good, and the Tiger defense holds.
And it will be a +5 for the Tigers. As the ball was snapped from the 15, it'll come out to the 20. You were mentioning earlier, Paul, that we're dry right now. Let me tell you, there were a couple of fellas earlier tonight that were not so dry. One, Jack Yenser and Matthew Mahoney, played in a freshman game earlier tonight. They are trying to warm up a little bit in the car right now. But they were some drowned rats earlier.
I think you could do the ice bucket challenge and you wouldn't have gotten wetter. I mean, it was, you could hear in the interview with Coach Kluver, you could start to hear the rain, and then it kind of picked up. And by the I had an umbrella with me. I said, "Coach, you want to stand in it?" He goes, "No, I got to stand in it all night." You know, tough football coach thing. The same thing you would say, I'm sure.
Well, all those Kluver boys are pretty tough fellas.
They are. And lots of them still playing football. He's got a nephew that plays as the long snapper for the University of Iowa. Another nephew that plays for Centennial. And we are having a conversation down here on the field. What do we got there?
Well, are we looking at radar stuff?
I don't know. We miss having our sideline reporter, Jim Kirby, down there. He would tell us what's going on.
Yes, he would.
Let's pull up the radar. I know we had a window. Oh, I think they're trying to run off the clock because, remember, it was the snap. There was no time run off. So what do you say that is, 4 seconds? 6 seconds?
I'm going to say 5.
How about 5? 11:55 left to go.
I got a little help from my friends down there, Paul.
Hello, Captain Obvious. And now we've moved the rain back up to about 9 o'clock. That's only 50 minutes away. We need this game to move. Lombardi hands off to
Fugatti.
Trey Fugate. Fugate, no gain. In fact, I think he lost a yard.
They're saying he lost 2.
And yeah, we have a line of storms that's to the south right now. And as long as it keeps its lightning in the sky, Lombardi hands off to Fugate, who gets up to the 20 and then pushed forward on that tackle by Spencer Gavin. That line is from about Winterset to south of Des Moines. And I'll tell you, there was a big line of cells somewhere, a line from Grinnell to Manchester, headed towards Cedar Rapids. Looks like they're getting rain in Jessup. You know, I don't know who would be from Jessup ever. As Valley has it on the 22-yard line. Gain of 4 to make up for the loss of 2. 3rd and 8. Play action sold well by Lombardi over the middle. Caught in stride. Tariq Brown. 40 makes a man miss. 30, 20. This is going to be a touchdown, and that's going to come back. The blocker downfield.
Luke Matney did such a great job being down here, leading the block all the way down. They threw the flag at the 18-yard line, and it only came out because he lost contact. If you could keep your contact, even if the ball carrier turns, if you've kept contact, there's no blocking the back. But he lost contact and gave an extra little shove. But what a play. All started back with Bo Lombardi on that great play action.
It was sold so well.
Yes.
Fugate held that, and I give a lot of credit. I think a good fake goes a long way to making your offense better.
Mm-hmm. And Fugate did a great job carrying that out. Everybody went with him. And, it's a low to high read. The low receiver was covered up, and Bo made a great read downfield to Brown.
So it's a 48-yard gain, which should have been a touchdown, but instead comes back out to the 30. Fugate goes all the way to the right. Now he's coming all the way to the left, and he's got some room. He's getting a block from Bo Lombardi, and he's into the end zone. No penalties this time. Trey Fugati. I got to call him right. Trey Fugate. But it's just so, he's got such a good name if we call him that.
That's right.
Trey Fugate. What a play there.
What a great job. We've made some NFL remarks to, as far as comparisons to different runs. Earlier in the year, we made a comment about a couple of jukes and different moves, and that one reminded me of the old Marcus Allen play back in which Super Bowl was that, Paul?
20. The one the extra point is up and good. 14-0 Valley. We'll look it up on Google when we come back.
Get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
When people visit the Lodge of Ashworth, they fall in love with our grounds. They're impressed with our dining room, but it is our spacious 2- and 3-bedroom suites that attract the most attention. With bay windows, full kitchens, large walk-in closets, and modern appliances, the Lodge feels like home. We have suites move-in ready, or we will help you customize. Create a home office, media room, or bedroom for visiting friends or family. Call us today for a private tour and ask about our flexible pricing plans.
Coach Kluver said they needed to limit big plays, and there were 2 big plays on that drive for the Tigers as the return goes up to about the 15, and then that is going to be it for, and that was, Connor, no, not Connor Russo, that's the other team, Dylan Hildreth, and so now 10:09. That capped a 4-play, 80-yard drive with a 30-yard touchdown run by Trey Fugate. Even with the penalty, it's now 14-0 Tigers.
So, Paul, we were talking a little bit here. We might need a little help from, Dad. So, Neil, if you're listening, we might need a little help on what year that year was Marcus Allen and the Raiders on that big-time run.
I was thinking it was 83. Handoff to up the middle to Hildreth, back into the lineup.
I got to go back and comment on the 2 kickoffs that Tinsley Wright has had. The previous one, Indianola had a great return. But both kickoffs were very similar. Try to pin them into a corner, or at least to the hash and over. On this last kickoff, Valley did a great job converging in on it and putting a squeeze down on that runner, on the return man, whereas the previous kickoff, too many gaps were left in the coverage.
It's a game of adjustments. Delayed handoff. Won't even really call that a draw. Gets up to about the 20. Hildreth, the ball carrier. And getting a tap on the helmet would be Logan Castle by his linebacker, Joe Wellman. Second quarter, under 9 minutes to play, 14-0 Valley. Paul Yeager, Keith Bornas, CISN.TV, on what's really turned into a beautiful night.
Right now, it couldn't be any more perfect.
And that run gets it up to the 20, gain of 2, sorry. Pass down the near sideline, caught in stride at the 50 into the Valley territory. Number 1, Evan Gauger to the 39-yard line. Great play.
One of the things that ended up happening there, Bracken Cobb on the coverage there is coming out of that linebacker position. And a lot of times there is that mismatch that ends up happening when you put a wide receiver one-on-one with a linebacker. Usually the wide receiver is going to have a little bit more of an advantage on the speed aspect of things.
Gain of 41 yards for the Indians, and that'll clear up, move some action. Joe Jensen tries to run, fakes the. It wasn't a play action; it was just a fake. But man alive, having none of it, was right there in the middle for the Tigers. Julius Amafadon and Darius Manuel.
When Julius,
Loss of 3.
When Julius Amafadon was an 8th grader, came out for wrestling, and he brought his trumpet to wrestling practice one day. So naturally, I was going to say, Julius, give me that trumpet. It's a tough instrument to play, man.
Yeah. Jensen goes out on the screen, makes one man miss, and then Shelton just flat out picks up and throws backwards. That's a good 2-arm takedown of Colby Kolarik. And it goes all the way back to the 45, so only a loss of 3.
One of the things that Coach Mitchell always talks about at practice and in games is you got to get 11 hats to the ball on defense. And for those of you watching football for the first time, it's 11 on 11. So it's every guy on defense needs to get in there and try and get their licks.
3rd and 16, Jensen to throw. Receiver not there first time, goes second time. And I tell you what, there was a spot to get it to Gauger there, but falls short. It'll be 4th down and chance a punt again for the Indians here. And they'll bring out Peyton Boozell, who had a great punt the last time. Unfortunately, he kicked it about 5 yards too deep. If he can do that again, he'll easily pin the Tigers. You're trying to do that whole rolling kick.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is to limit the return.
Right, and you don't have to kick it far. You want it to roll far.
So Boozell gets it, rolls to the right, just kind of gets it up over, bounces at the 20, taken by New at the 10. Penalty flag comes out. And New is going to go up to the 25-yard line. So that's in the area of maybe somebody doing something they're not supposed to do on the return, like, oh, I don't know, illegal block, holding.
Pushing the back.
Yeah, pushing the back.
And the tough thing about it is I don't know anybody who does it on purpose. It's not like that was your goal, but yet you get caught doing it, which is unfortunate.
So now, if this the flag is back at the 8 at the 17.
Block in the back on the return team. A penalty will be declined. The fumble was recovered by Indianola. First down.
Did you see the fumble?
I didn't see that.
I missed the fumble after the play. That's why Indianola was jumping up and down. I was looking down at something else all of a sudden. So now Indianola brings their offense back out. So now it was a fumble, it was a punt, then a fumble. So the drive continues. Indianola starts at the 24-yard line of Valley. short field. Jensen to throw. Tipped and almost caught again by Kolarik. And the pass was broken up. Oh, goodness, I thought it was Lombardi for a minute. Bracken Cobb, not 12, 17.
Yeah, Bracken Cobb coming in off of that linebacker position has to come out into coverage, and he did a wonderful job on that particular play, getting out into the flats and disrupting the passing lane.
6:54, 14-0, Valley in the lead. Jensen has a receiver to the left and right. And 2 H-backs. Looks to that left side, throws it on the out and up, trying to come back for it, and then intercepted. Tigers pick it off. On the far sideline is John Shaner. Penalty flag comes down. That ball was tipped by the intended receiver, but let's just hold the phone before we get too excited, Keith.
Well, the flag came out after the interception. So I'm guessing there's going to be some type of a hold or a block in the back after the change of possession.
And we'll try to pick up on the audio there of what's going on. 14-0, Valley leads. They already lost one possession on a punt. This is a interception, and that was going to be it was thrown to the back shoulder of the intended receiver. And then Shaner just got it on the third tip.
Personal foul, number 50, on the intercepting routine. The foul occurred after the interception. Thus, it'll be first down Valley.
Penalty will take them back. Waukee leads Des Moines East 21-0. If you're looking for other scores. And Chris Short, the official tonight, making that call. So the Tigers will go all the way back to the 14-yard line is where their drive will start. So they got a long field to goal, 86 yards. 6:45 and a 14-0 lead. Let's see what happens here for the Tigers and Coach Gary Swenson. As the fans try to make a little bit of noise to help out their school. Mason makes one miss, but not two.
Or six.
And making the stops, Aiden Rubel and Berkeley Sandquist.
But Indianola is really doing a nice job disrupting the play before it has a chance to get started. When you're a defensive lineman, you want to get your arms locked out and try and create as much space in between you and the offensive line, and they're doing that. They're pushing back, getting into their gaps, and disrupting the running backs.
Getting the call is Creighton Mitchell, and he'll spin up to the 22-yard line, stays in bound, clock keeps moving. Mitchell gets about, he gets up to the 22, so he gains 7.
So
working on that math
yeah,
thing.
so a gain of 1 on first down, gain of 7 on second down. For your third down, at least you're still what we would consider ahead of the chains.
Yep. Lombardi goes under center. Gives it to Mitchell. Mitchell has the first down and then some. He's at the 30, makes one man miss, spins out and tackled up at the 38 by Evan Gauger for the Indians. All the way up, they're going to mark him down at the 39, so a gain of 17.
Nice job by Luke Matney getting down there and being a lead blocker. And Trey Yates from the other side of the ball. He's the right guard. He was all the way down here, had passed over to the other side of the center and was down field 15 yards blocking.
1st and 10, new downs. And penalty. Did Lombardi take a knee when he went to get that? We whistled that play in the middle of it.
Well, the flag came out. So, false start.
Okay, there you go, false start.
Players move before the ball snap. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Can't do that. Our officials tonight, Chris Short, Eric Crane, Chuck Good, Steve Gradoville, and Brian Weber. as assigned. So the penalty will bring the Tigers back to the 34-yard line. Still first down, but it's 1st and 15. Clock stopped, 5:09 will move on the snap. Lombardi, here comes the blitz. They get it out to Mason, caught at the 30. One miss, 40, 44-yard line, 45-yard line. Gain of 11 on that pass play back to Mason. And, you know, with the 3 backs that Valley is rotating in, Coach Swenson, no doubt about it, Mason is still our, as he called it, the bell cow.
Yes, he is going to he's been such a playmaker for these last 3 years. You would have to be something pretty special to come in and start taking over that role from him.
Mason gets the handoff, he's got the first down. He's into Indian territory, still on his feet, 40, makes a cutback, 35, 20, 10, 5, Javon Mason, a touchdown of 55 yards.
And there are a lot of people on the Valley sideline looking for any type of laundry on the field that might bring something back. There have been a lot of big plays, and Coach Kluver was talking about it, as you've said as well. If Indianola wanted to be in this game, they needed to stop the big play. And it's been 5 big plays that has kept Valley on the plus side of Indianola so far.
The extra point is good. Valley leads 21-0. This is CISN.TV.
Great selection, great experience. That's what people expect today. What isn't expected is how hard we work after the sale to keep your business. Hard work, honesty, integrity, discipline, trust, character. These core values are why we grow every year and why we continue to acquire more dealerships. Experience the Schottenkirk way of doing business and come visit our new Ford dealership in Indianola. Great price.
Iowa. And here, we don't just dream of a better tomorrow, of a smarter way to do business or live, of perseverance and progress. We inspire it in others. We challenge the conventional, reimagine what it means to be better, and then dare ourselves to make it great. This is Iowa, and here, we don't just dream, we make history.
The kickoff goes high, back to about the 2. Taken out by the Indians, and that is who I thought it was. It was number 45, Dylan Hildreth. And must have been a flash bulb down there. Somebody had a flash. Did you?
Yeah, the flash bulb looked like it was coming from the school over on the hill, however.
Well, the band is getting ready. Maybe they were taking some pictures over there.
That's right.
Ball goes to the 22. The Indians will have it, 4:44 to go before half. They'd like to get on the board, give them some semblance of confidence here. Handoff Hildreth, he's through the middle and then some positive yards there up to about the 25. He ran hard on that play, and he is a tough runner. Hildreth is a guy, 54 carries against Hoover. He's called small and mighty by his coach.
What are his, do you have his yardage overall on the year so far?
For the season, he's 146 for 878 yards. That's 6 yards per carry.
That's just a bunch of yards. Well over 100 yards a game. So, yes, he has been a difference maker, and he looks to be a difference maker. My gosh, he's just dragging people.
2nd and 7. Rain starting to intensify a little bit more here now. Handoff, Hildreth again. And what Coach Kluver said about that game against Hoover, gain of 5 on the play, it'll be 3rd and short, that we didn't intend to give him the ball 54 times. It's just that Hoover couldn't stop us. We couldn't stop them, and they couldn't stop Hildreth. So I just gave the ball to Hildreth, and that's what happened.
And he's one of those guys that seems to just get tougher as the night goes on.
And that's attributed to just good athleticism and working in the weight room. Who's working harder? Play clock down to 1. Indians take a timeout. So will we. Valley leads 21-0.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
Indianola takes a timeout, faces a 3rd and 1 with the 3:25 left to go before half. We're going to be talking at halftime with head girls basketball coach from the Valley Tigers, Joe Segrist. Joseph is set to join us. Hopefully he's tweeting about his appearance right now. Great run. Wildcat there. Hildreth. I think he took the snap directly, moved the chains.
A nice job by Seth Nykum to be able to get out there and kick out that block. Quarterback was able to Jensen was able to sneak up inside of that. Valley was working on trying to set that edge and just got kicked out by that pulling guard.
1st and 10, 3 minutes to go. Jensen looks left, throws, and then boom, dropped like a hammer. Connor Shelton says, hello, Evan Gogger. Welcome to Valley Stadium. Nice to meet you.
A pleasant hello.
Man, he popped him back at the 30. That was a heck of a play, loss of 4.
And it was so well read. You know, Coach Rebarger has done a great job as far as getting guys ready to go, what to expect, and any more with all of the film that people can watch. Coach Swenson was talking about it earlier. You can watch hours and hours of films. You get to know who you're playing pretty well.
2nd and 14, 2:20 to go. Indianola 2 timeouts. Jensen throws down the near sideline. Off the fingertips. Oh, that would have been a pretty play. Huge drop there. Cole Scott. As the rain starts to intensify. Cole Scott, the intended receiver.
And it appeared as though somebody took another picture.
I think so.
John Shaner did not have a great coverage on that, but it has a lot to do with the wide receiver, creating space, running a good, crisp route. And, you know, a lot of times you try and figure out how good an arm does their quarterback really have.
Well, and he had time there. You know, give him credit. Give the Indianola line credit as they need a big play here on 3rd and 14. Trying to keep this half going. Play action. Jensen rolls. Gets by 1. He's going down the field. Incomplete. Intended receiver was Jack Hoyman, the 6'2", 191-pound sophomore, one of the rare sophomores playing.
He's kind of a specimen.
That is kind of what I thought was happening. We did see lightning.
One too many flash photographers.
At 8:35.
So 9:05.
And then we got to take a time. Then we got to take halftime.
Yep.
So the game manager approached it. So let's see. That was a pass that was incomplete. And we have, let's see. I think we're going to get an extended time with Joe. We're going to have to talk to him a couple of times.
Well, you know, Joe's got a lot of things to say.
He does, you know. And so now we will go into a delay. But Keith and I will keep it here for just a little bit as we kind of get you ready to have a delay. So let's give the radar a look as we had this storm cell that was south of us. And the storms have kind of been going southwest to northeast and just slowly moving east. And if that thing backed up a little bit, we were not supposed to have rain until about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. But now you've got lightning that's taking in, and that is going to change the context of the game here a little bit as we give a quick look at the radar. And it's just enough of a cell to kind of cause some issues, but I can tell you, if they're not done with football over in the Council Bluffs area, they're going to be sitting in a delay as well.
Yeah, they'll get home tomorrow.
Yeah, well, that Downing game should actually be done. It's the Ankeny-Lewis Central game that I'll try to check some of those scores and let you know. We'll step away. This is CISN.TV.
Breast Cancer Awareness Month and time for our annual mammograms. Call today to schedule yours. Iowa Radiology. Our focus is your good health. Okay, ladies, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month and time for our annual mammograms. Call today to schedule yours. Iowa Radiology. Our focus is your good health. Okay, ladies, it's breast.
I opened the Hearing Clinic to offer patients and their families a positive healthcare experience. If you have trouble hearing clearly at church, at the movies, watching TV, or with your friends and family in a group conversation, what are you waiting for? In less than half an hour, we can give you peace of mind and answer any questions that you may have. Call us today to schedule your appointment. The Hearing Clinic, 515-440-3323. We listen, you hear.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Miss your hometown clothing store? The one that had it all? Everything to get the work done, all in one place? G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us. Or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing, your size, your style, we've got it all.
Cancer Awareness Month and time for our annual mammograms. Call today to schedule yours. Iowa Radiology. Our focus is your good health. Okay, ladies.
We're back at Valley Stadium. Paul Yeager, Keith Bornas, as we talk about some of the weather delays that are going on and baseball. Joe Seeger's telling us now that it is a 8-8 in the 11th between his Cleveland Indians and the New York Yankees. He's an Ohio guy. Are the Indians your team? Okay, he's not the Reds. Nobody admits to being a Reds fan. Not under the age of 50, anyway. We're at a lightning delay here. Valley leads 21-0. They scored on 3 plays, 1 in the first. 13-play, 80-yard drive, 2-yard touchdown run by Javon Mason, but really it was the Luke Matney 42-yard reception, Keith, on that drive that made all the difference for the Tigers.
And it was one of those deep in routes that Bo Lombardi did a nice job looking low to high, but he had plenty of time to throw the ball. And I don't care who you are, if you give a Lombardi time to throw, they can get it as far as they need it to go. And it went downfield from where the launch point to where Matney caught it was probably 35-plus yards, and it looked like it was on a dime.
And that was one of probably the best pass plays we've seen Bo do this season, at least
yes.
here at Valley Stadium. He's had some times where you just kind of felt, okay, he's there, he's close, he's close. And there tonight, he was able to get it done. So, nice play.
And you can have all the talent in the world. You can have been working at the quarterback position, or any position for that matter, for a long time. But experience is the key. And this is the first year he's played quarterback since his sophomore year when he was a freshman. The sophomore season when he was a freshman. So him coming in, missing last year, the entire year at quarterback, coming in, he's short-hopped a few. He's kind of kept his read on one person all the way. He's kind of led defensive backs into those passing lanes. But it's a progression, and he's really starting to look strong. Hopefully, when you get to this point in the year, your team is now ready to play its best football.
And that's one of the things we talked about with Coach Swenson in the pregame show was just like, hey, this is the 7th game of the year. We better start hitting our stride pretty soon. We kind of know what team we have, and that's what you're trying to do. You've those first, second, third games, that's still trying to figure out what everybody's role is. But that's something Gary has said to me, several weeks this season is, hey, Bo hasn't played that position all that often, and to come and play at that level, to be number 3 in the state, that says something. I mean, let's face it, he's got the athletic genes, and it's just a matter of time getting the reps at that position.
Right. You take a look at how many throws he's had in his first year compared to like what Rocky had in his first year, and the comparison isn't all that close. We're running the ball quite a bit more than, when Rocky was here. But how do you not run the ball? I mean, you got those guys in the backfield. And I guess you can also argue the question, how do you not throw the ball with all those receivers? Ryan New, at the beginning of the year, it was a question of, do you even bring Ryan New up to the varsity? Because at that point in the season, in the preseason, there were 6 guys that were really talented wide receivers ahead of him. He's just worked his way into it.
And he's probably emerged as probably the top receiver they have.
Yeah.
Although New has only had a kick return, but that's one of those, hey, you know what? You're going to key on New. We're going to throw to Matney. And that's probably why Matney was open on that play in that first drive. Second drive, second quarter, 4 plays, 80 yards, 30-yard run by Trey Fugate. Should have been a 86-yard pass play for a score, but there's a penalty downfield. Doesn't wipe the all the yardage off, but it does set back up the Tigers for the Fugate on that next play. Fugate, Creighton Mitchell, Javon Mason, all 3 good options that run on the football.
Yes, and they can catch the ball. They're with the offense that Valley has kind of been forced into playing this year because of not having a tight end. You try to get athletes the ball in space, whether that's handing it off to them, doing some type of a pass play out into the flat, or even letting them run down the field. And they all have that opportunity to get open, make a play, and when they have the ball, it's a lot of fun to watch. But it's not just the running backs that can do that. Ryan New can make a play. Tariq Brown can make a play. Jalen Long could make a play before the injury. And so there's just a lot of weapons out there if you can get the ball to them.
That's right. Tigers scored their third score on a 5-play, 86-yard drive, 50-yard touchdown run. Javon Mason, 21-0 Tigers. And that's where we stand at the 2:08 mark. Rain coming down, but it's the lightning that we're waiting out. When we come back, I think we're going to have our conversation with Joe Segrist, head girls basketball coach. He can get more than 2 minutes. We're going to leave him some air so he can have some time. I know, hard to believe it's almost basketball season, but Jimmy, take us to break. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes talking girls basketball here on CISN.TV.
Many times at the Lodge of Ashworth, new members come to us from their big, beautiful homes. They find our spacious 2- and 3-bedroom suites to be an ideal fit. We have a limited number of these larger and penthouse-style suites, perfect for the retiring executive style living. We have suites ready for immediate move-in, or we can help you customize. The Lodge of Ashworth is all-inclusive, no surprise additional fees or upcharges. Call us today for a private tour and ask us about our flexible pricing plans.
Guys, they think they know what special means. At Godfather's Pizza, we do special, and we do it better. We add the T. There's a Godfather specialty pizza with your name on it. Classic combo, all meat combo, hot stuff, taco, yeah, even veggie and more. All of them piled high with the best toppings and 100% real cheese. Treat yourself special. Order specialty pizzas from Godfather's Pizza.
The value of staying active cannot be overlooked in our lives or our young athletes. However, high-intensity workouts come with the risk of injury. If you or your child have sustained a sports injury, Select Physical Therapy in conjunction with Iowa Ortho are here to help with 2 convenient walk-in locations.
From diagnosis through recovery, you'll be put directly into the hands of experts who will evaluate and treat your sports-related injury.
Call us today for an evaluation.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community. You want to get stronger.
Welcome back to Valley Stadium. We are in lightning delay, but we're going to go ahead and move ahead with our halftime guest, Joe Segrist, head girls basketball coach at Valley High School. And how'd that season turn out for you towards the end? I don't remember how it came out. Do you? Have you pinched yourself enough to think that was real the way that finished last year?
You know, sometimes I wake up and Valley had never had a girls basketball state title, and I wonder if we really did it. But
I was there. I saw it. So did you.
I remember it, a lot of it. So
that team, combination of a couple of factors. You've got a couple of you got 3 Division I athletes playing, 2 of them basketball athletes. Another one, we don't exactly know where that third one, what she's going to pick yet.
Right.
But Hannah Fuller was just, you and I have talked about her for years, just how good of a player she was. Why is it one player can make so much difference, not necessarily for all their offense or defense, but what it is she brings to the court?
You know, she came in as a freshman and was a leader then, and she learned from her sister who was 3 years older, and so leadership just was always a part of her blood. And she got a taste of that state tournament action as a freshman, and she just was relentless at getting us back there. And that's what I like about this new younger group is they learn from someone so special, someone that led us to the pinnacle of our sport. And so now we're going to see if our new leaders can take over.
Well, you have Zoe Young, who committed in the winter or in the off season in the summer. Not a bad pickup for. I would imagine she'll be a junior this year, right?
Right.
And so to have that out of the way, to go Big Ten, to go to such a big school, it's a big pickup.
Yeah, Coach Brenda Freeze at Maryland is ecstatic to get her. They've already been back in the gym, watching open gyms, and keeping tabs on her. And we're happy that it's behind us because that recruiting process can be really tiring for the family and just everyone involved. So I think she made a tremendous decision for her family, and she has 2 great years left with us.
I remember a night, it might have been the Dowling game last year at Valley. Brenda Freeze had an assistant there from Maryland. Lisa Bluter was there that night. One of the other assistants for Iowa State was there. Drake, Jenny, Coach Baranchek was there.
Right.
You had at least 4 or 5. I don't even know all the coaches that were there that night watching. So that doesn't become a distraction because it's been happening so often for your squad. Or does it?
Well, the year before, Grace Vanderweide, she's now transferred to Marist in New York, but she's still playing Division I basketball, and it's been a part of what we are accustomed to, the last 5 years and going into our 6th year in the program. So the girls are used to it. I think it motivates our younger group they want to be that next star. So I've been fortunate to coach just some tremendous young ladies, and they're just all around great people too.
Alex Honnold will be back? Or are you trying to tell me that you've given me the pause all of a sudden? She's coming back, right?
I hope so. Yeah, she's coming off hip surgery, so we hope to have her at the turn of the calendar in January at some point. But it gives us, we're going to have 7 sophomores on roster, 5 that were at the state tournament last year. So without her, I don't know what our starting lineup's going to be with those last couple players, but when we get her back with bringing those other 6 sophomores along, we could be really dangerous.
I'm not going to say it's a good thing. However, it creates an opportunity for you to maybe coalesce that younger group, and they're going to you're going to learn a lot more because they see a starting spot clear as day in front of them, even if it is for 3 games, 8 games, 10,
Right.
whatever it is. But they're working for something because they know you need to be ready to go when it comes March.
Yeah, I mean, the start of the season, I mean, we start fall league. I can't coach, but have parents coach in our fall league on Sunday, and that is the 4 Sundays leading into our Monday practice on November 6th. And it's going to be competitive, not only with the other teams, but within our program, seeing who can get those last spots.
You're going to name all those sophomores? Have you figured out who they will all be? You kind of know you're going to have anybody left on your sophomore team?
Well, they've changed that a little bit on us this year, too. I don't know if you're aware. We now don't have, per se, a freshman team. We have a JV1 and a JV2.
Okay.
So we can kind of play with our numbers a little bit and shuffle some kids around so that you're not just all freshmen at the freshman level. So JV1 and JV2 allows us to play some juniors with freshmen too.
Would JV2 be the game that usually would be ahead of yours, or would it be the JV1 game?
It'll be the JV1.
Okay,
so our
so one,
normal
then two.
JV, yeah.
Now, where did that come about for making that change? Is that a league thing or a state thing?
It was a league voted on CIML thing, and it was, I think, due to a lot of the numbers at other schools. Our numbers are great. We have 48 girls signed up right now, which is amazing. I mean, other schools, I think, are shutting down a freshman team and only having 2 teams. So, but it gave other schools that liberty, and I was okay with that, to kind of play with their numbers and help them out.
So does that reduce a team then that you had? Or would your JV, did you have JV games before? I know like in
Right.
football they'll have a JV game. Who did the coaching of those JV games then for you?
Rob Wiederbrand's our head JV coach, and Kelly Moore helps out, but she's also assistant varsity with
you.
me and Chris Larson.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's how that would work. Okay. So you'll open up. You talk about your league. The player, it's going to go from, a number of girls last year. A lot of people are going to start talking about Caitlin Clark a lot over at Dowling.
Oh, yeah.
You're very familiar with her. Again, that game, in fact, we had it on CISN. She goes off there in that third quarter or second quarter, whatever
it was. The third, yeah.
The third, and she is someone that can change a game like that.
Oh, we knew. I mean, I think she had 18 or 19 in that third quarter at our place to cut in and I think even take the lead shortly. So we knew in that quarterfinal game against Dowling that we would really have to shadow her across the floor. Luckily, we had Hannah Fuller, a senior that wasn't going to lose, and she shadowed her everywhere, and we set tons of state records. So that was fun.
Now, the team that's playing here tonight, Indianola, not too bad of a program coming back for next year either.
No, they'll be one of the front runners. They had a team that we thought we could see in that championship game, and they ended our season before the state tournament the year before. So we thought we were going to see them instead of Cedar Falls last year, and they're going to be real senior laden and have a real stud with McGraw as a junior too. So her and Berg make quite a dynamic duo, and they'll be one of the front runners this year for sure.
Did Grace Berg commit yet anywhere?
I think Missouri.
Okay. Rode the elevator with her after that loss at Wells Fargo last year, and I just said, keep your head up, kid. She played her heart out that night, and it's tough to only one team gets to end with a win at the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, we've been in that position before, that 2015 game against Waukee. It's so gratifying to get to that final game, but then you want to get back so quickly because, you're so close. And last year, that group with 5 seniors capped it off and brought us our first title.
Centennial wins the state title the year before. They fall short of a state last year, and then they've had injury bug too. Kiana Williams with a knee injury. Rachel Schoen is still questionable about when she comes back, but you know that Coach DeYoung always has a squad up there too that you have to contend with.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. I mean, whatever he has to work with, he'll get them prepared for tournament play. And yeah, they came up a little short. I think they played City High to get there, who was really strong too. But they'll be prepared and they'll be strong. I mean, our league is always really tough.
And if I don't talk about Chris and Sherry Guess, I'm going to be in trouble with Sherry. You just, again, you don't know what they're going to come up with. They do lose Carly Littlefield, but they still have a couple of pieces that they can rebuild on. And I would imagine your neighbors to the west will also be kind of knocking on your door too.
Yeah, I mean, Waukee, I heard they've got a solid freshman class coming in with some veteran pieces too. They're so well coached. Chris and Sherry do a tremendous job coaching there, and we know that's going to be a good game, rivalry game, just like Dowling every year.
Let's see, you mentioned a little bit of some of the Eastern Iowa teams. Bettendorf, Pleasant Valley, maybe in there, but you probably look more in the Iowa City, Cedar Falls, Cedar
Right.
Rapids area. Linmar with a new coach, a lot of talent, and now you have a guy who's won back-to-back state titles. Nate Sanderson goes from Springville to Linmar, and all of a sudden they become, not to say that who they had as a coach before wasn't any
Right.
good either.
Yeah, I mean, I think they had Jamie Printy then,
Yeah.
and or her new name, but
Brandt. I had to think
there
about it.
you
I
go.
couldn't think
Thank
of it
you.
for a minute. She goes to Liberty in
Right.
The north side of Iowa City.
And they'll be a tough team next year or the year after whenever they become a varsity team. And yeah, the coaching, I've just been so impressed with the coaches that we go up against and how prepared teams are with huddle and, film. And, that's not just football. I mean, we all just scout like crazy. And, I mean, I remember going back to our championship game preparation. It's such a quick turnaround from 1 o'clock on Friday to 7 o'clock on Saturday or 8 o'clock on Saturday. And, our coaching staff went back and just studied as much as we could on Cedar Falls. And we'd already done some studying on Indianola, but the coaching and the preparation just is at an ultimate level.
And you could easily see Cedar Falls next year, too.
Yeah, they'll be one of the other side of the state. I know we've won 5, I think, in a row in the CIML girls basketball state titles for 5A, but Cedar Falls, Iowa City West, and City High, I think, are three very top teams on that side.
Yeah, because you have at City High Jones. Is it Ashley Jones?
Right.
And she's nothing to sneeze at either.
No, there's Division I talent. I mean, City West has 2 Division I girls. I think a Creighton and an Iowa recruit, and the Jones girl, and Cedar Falls has a couple UNI players. I mean, there's just Division I girls everywhere.
No easy night for you.
No, not at all.
That works out. All right. So practice, the fall league that you can't do but others can do, starts Sunday. Can people come watch those games? Do they watch those games? Where do they play those?
I have to sit up with the crowd, so and the parents. I try to get up as high as I can, but
on the opposite side, so the
No,
parent can
no.
see you, and you've got signs. Are you like a baseball coach?
No, we've got great parents, but I like to get as high as I can to see as much of the floor as I can. So, but we have a couple parent volunteers that do a great job with them. So
Who's that this year for you?
I
like to put you on the
Tim
spot.
Fuller,
Yeah.
and Ed Young.
Okay, because there's still one more Fuller.
Yeah,
Shay.
Shay and Zoe will be our leaders, as juniors. So.
Okay. All righty. Well, hard to believe it, Joe, but I've talked my way through the entire delay almost.
Well,
You
thanks.
shouldn't be surprised, should you?
No, I enjoy talking to you.
It is good. It's always good to see you. And I just did a little work, so I'm going to turn in 30 minutes of work ahead for basketball season. It's hard to
Awesome.
believe. We'll have the finals again on Iowa Public Television. We'll have volleyball first, and then it'll be basketball will be here before we know it. And this is a year, now that Nate has gone, Sanderson has gone to Linmar, that changes some of our game plans. Springville going for 3 in a row. It might become a feature again because, still a great program for them to see. And I know you spend a lot of time at that state tournament seeing a lot of those games. So
Oh yeah, it's the best week of the year for me. So
we'll just try to keep you in Iowa as long as we can and keep you out of Ohio from going back home. Shh, don't, Zach. Just keep
I do love it here.
Yeah, it is. It's good. This will be year 8? No, what year will this be for you?
6.
6.
Right.
Man, time flies.
Yeah.
All right. Joe Seegers, head girls basketball coach for the Valley Tigers. We'll have their games coming up probably starting in November already, or probably December on CISN.TV. Joe, thank you very much. We'll come back. It's Valley 21, Indianola nothing. Keith and I will get you revved back up, and we have to warm back up before play resumes here from Valley Stadium.
When people visit the Lodge of Ashworth, they fall in love with our grounds. They're impressed with our dining room, but it is our spacious 2- and 3-bedroom suites that attract the most attention. With bay windows, full kitchens, large walk-in closets, and modern appliances, the Lodge feels like home. We have suites move-in ready, or we will help you customize. Create a home office, media room, or bedroom for visiting friends or family. Call us today for a private tour and ask about our flexible pricing plans.
Great selection, great experience. That's what people expect today. What isn't expected is how hard we work after the sale to keep your business. Hard work, honesty, integrity, discipline, trust, character. These core values are why we grow every year and why we continue to acquire more dealerships. Experience the Schottenkirk way of doing business and come visit our new Ford dealership in Indianola.
Great Iowa. And here, we don't just dream of a better tomorrow, of a smarter way to do business or live, of perseverance and progress. We inspire it in others. We challenge the conventional, reimagine what it means to be better, and then dare ourselves to make it great. This is Iowa, and here, we don't just dream, we make history. This is
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
I opened the Hearing Clinic to offer patients and their families a positive healthcare experience. If you have trouble hearing clearly at church, at the movies, watching TV, or with your friends and family in a group conversation, what are you waiting for? In less than half an hour, we can give you peace of mind and answer any questions that you may have. Call us today to schedule your appointment. The Hearing Clinic, 515-440-3323. We listen, you hear.
Well, how about that? We're playing football again. So we've kind of already had our halftime.
Yeah.
As we just missed Indianola doing the roll punt on 4th down. So the Tigers will take over 2:03. Valley leads 21-0. They will be at the 49-yard line, their own 49 on 1st down, up 21-0. Hold the phone. We got all sorts of stuff to tell you. Thank goodness Keith was working during that break. Handoff, Trey Fugate. He's at midfield, makes one miss, and then he is just form tackled. Good wrap up for the Indians there. That is Miles Berg.
Nice job by Fugate to make a move out to the outside like he's going to run a sweep, and then turned up very quickly, drove ahead, carried a guy for another yard and a half.
Gain of 4 for Fugate. Lombardi throws, and incomplete. Intended receiver was Creighton Mitchell. So we have a minute 33 left in the first half, but we're not going to have a full half time. We're going to have like a minute break. Is that what you're telling?
It's going to be a very abbreviated halftime. It sounds as though each team took the 30-minute lightning break as their halftime, so it will be a 1-minute halftime officially in the books.
And we've actually the rain has let up a little bit too, but we're still racing those rain clouds. Mitchell is popped out at the 50, and a great open field tackle. And Colby Kolarik. And you know what, Keith? You know, we talked about it. We just had a brief moment with Bernie Brick, the athletic director from Indianola, and you said it to him, and he agreed. The big plays have been the difference in this ballgame.
They really have been. Both teams have done a great job against each other. They've driven the ball. They've stopped the ball. But when it boils down to the score, it's been that big play potential that Valley has that's worked. Indianola's big play potential just hasn't happened yet.
Javon Mason on the punt. Fake takes it. High steps at 1, 2. Stiff arm down the 40. And
he got it.
He got it. He needed to get to the 41-yard line, and he stepped out of bounds at the 36. So one of the reasons the punting game was a little suspect last week, and now you've come back, give that rugby-style look. So Mason continues the drive on 4th and 6. He gained 15 yards, 13 yards.
A nice play. And I wasn't 100% sure that he still wasn't going to punt it. He's got a good leg, but, man, he saw an opening and took it.
Mitchell goes in motion, play action. They're going for the post, and they go for the safety valve. Mitchell, you and I both saw Lombardi got popped, but then didn't go down.
Yeah. And, you know, he was definitely looking downfield first. That was one of those. He had a high to low read on that. And ended up throwing it. I think we were both looking at the post.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he just pulled back and went out to the quick little flare route and made up, 5 yards?
Yeah, Tormey was there, the free safety, as was the strong safety Kolarik. And so they had to go to Mitchell on the under route. Still got 5 yards. Second 5, timeout, Tigers. Here, 31 and a half seconds. Valley has the football. They're at the 31. Probably need another 10 yards for a field goal attempt. You going 3 or you trying to go 7?
Oh, I think you're still looking to go 7 here. Not because you don't have a good kicker, but because right now the hold has been a little bit suspect the last few games that we've done together. And that's been creating a little bit of an issue with the kicking game. And now the rain's starting to come down again.
Lombardi escapes, rolls off the back foot, throws towards the unknown, towards Matney. There's going to be pass interference at the goal line. And I think they're going to say Evan Gogger got him there as the umbrellas come back out. And I think Indianola will just be soon having those officials keep those penalty flags dry in their back pocket. But this one will go down. And we have a final at Johnston. 42-6 is your final there. So they're done. So again, Keith, here we are. Just you and me.
Now, are our friends from across the street, are they watching on the way home?
I'm not sure if the Dowling guys are watching right now. If they are, they might be on the bus, streaming it on their phone. Their game was done probably 3 hours ago. I have no idea. Penalty.
Yesterday.
I don't even know what time of day it is right now. 9:10, huh? All right, so the penalty gives the Tigers a fresh set, 1st and 10 from the 16. Lombardi's going to saw some pressures coming. Here comes the heat. They get it out to Mason at the 15. He's got the sideline. If he can score, he does. Touchdown on Mason, 16-yard safety valve catch.
What are the chances?
Score.
What are the chances that that flag just accidentally fell out of the pocket of the side judge over there?
Penalty flag, so the premature celebration holding. Never mind.
Yeah.
So it was out there in the flats by the receiver, Tariq Brown.
But yeah, what a great play by Bo Lombardi, looking downfield, getting a lot of pressure. It's almost like you could feel him feeling the pressure to dump that off to Mason.
New is to the right. Mason's next to Lombardi. Lombardi looks to the left, throws towards the end zone. He's got a receiver. Caught! Touchdown! Tariq Brown. Hold on one play, 6 on another. The Tigers open up a 27-point lead.
I think that's exactly what Coach Swenson has been looking for out of Bo. A little bit more comfort in the pocket. If the pocket starts to collapse, to move around, to step up in. And he delivered a great throw to Brown.
7-play, 49-yard drive. The extra point is up and good by Tinsley Wright, and the Tigers hold a 28-0 lead, 7.8 of the first half when we come back.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month and time for our annual mammograms. Call today to schedule yours. Iowa Radiology. Our focus is your good health. Okay, ladies, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month and time for our annual mammograms. Call today to schedule yours. Iowa Radiology. Our focus is your good health. Okay.
Valley scores again, opens up a 28-0 lead. Tinsley Wright will tee it up at the 40. And the Indians have 3 return men back. It's going to be a short kick taken by Hildreth at the 20. 1 tackle missed, and Hildreth somehow gets up across the 30. Good push there from his friends. Ty Reeves helping there, and the Indians will have it at the 31, because it's past the 30, which means it's a 31 with 1 play.
And pretty nice job on that squib kick by Tinsley Wright. If you haven't been a return man before, you just don't understand, even on a turf field that drains well, how wet that ball can still get as it skims along the surface of the field.
The last play of the first half is a kneel down by Joe Jensen. We've played 1 half of football. Don't worry, there's no big halftime show. We're going to take a 1-minute break, and we're going to do the third quarter right after this.
Miss your hometown clothing store, the one that had it all? Everything to get the work done, all in one place? G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us, or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing, your size, your style, we've got it all.
Many times at the Lodge of Ashworth, new members come to us from their big, beautiful homes. They find our spacious 2- and 3-bedroom suites to be an ideal fit. We have a limited number of these larger and penthouse-style suites, perfect for the retiring executive style living. We have suites ready for immediate move-in, or we can help you customize. The Lodge of Ashworth is all-inclusive, no surprise additional fees or upcharges. Call us today for a private tour and ask us about our flexible pricing plans.
I have to announce, due to time constraints, we fast forward the action. The Dar Danielson autograph session has been canceled for the postgame. I just want to, another note just came into me here. So sorry for those of you who wanted to hear Dar and meet him after the game. We're going to now play the third quarter after a short 1-minute timeout. Both teams had an extended halftime of 30 minutes. Really, that was the last bolt of lightning that we saw that caused it. I think there were probably 3. We could have maybe had a couple of those, but we're going to just go ahead and go right into that third quarter. Valley got the ball to start the half, and now we'll kick it off. Tinsley Wright feels like we're doing it all again because Valley's on the right side of your screen and Indianola on your left. Back deep is Evan Gogger. He is at the 1. Hildreth is on the far side. And they're kicking it towards Hildreth, and he's not going to be able to return that. That's going to be a touchback Tinsley Wright gets into it, so the Tigers defense will come out right away again. But the Indianola offense, Keith, what do they need to do here in the second half?
Well, Indianola, they need to get back into what they've done all year, and that's going to be run the ball. If they can continue to run the ball up into the tackles, in between the tackles, and try to wear down that defensive front that Valley has, I think there's an opportunity for some success there, because we've seen him and read about him and heard about him being able to just get stronger as the game goes on.
We had our 30-minute delay. That was enough of a halftime, so we continue on here. Joe Jensen rolls out. He'll throw it. Intercepted by the Tigers. Picked off. Hey, he had one last week. Victor Areola has another one this week.
Interception.
As I said, Paul, if Indianola can just run the ball in between the tackles and give themselves a little push there, that is certainly something right there that they did not need to have happen, especially coming out of halftime. They finished the half a little bit slow, and now you start the second half with a huge defensive play. Valley now has a very short field.
Tigers have it at the 29-yard line. Short field to work with. Lombardi hands off. Trey Fugate spins out of one move and then somehow takes 3 Indians with him up to the 18.
The end of that play did not look as pretty as it could have. You have Trey Fugate laying on the ground. You have 4 Indianola players on top of him. You have 5 Valley guys standing around the pile. In that situation, you certainly would like to see the guys standing around the pile having attempted to push the pile before it went down.
Handoff, Trey Fugate again, gets to the 20. Still on his feet, he runs with the scrum and somehow still gets to the 10. He ran with 6 guys for 9 yards. I think there's something about keeping your feet moving.
Wasn't it Roger Craig?
Davenport Central.
Davenport, Nebraska, San Francisco, who did a textbook running with those knees up and churning. That's what Trey Fugate looked like moments ago.
Gain of 13 for Fugate. He's the lone setback. Under center goes Lombardi. Handoff, Fugate makes a move, and he is going to step into the end zone for a touchdown. Trey Fugate, it is all him on that drive for the Tigers.
A great job. And talk about somebody that just looked like they got stronger play after play in that series for Valley. Trey Fugate really looked good. But touchdowns typically always do.
Tinsley Wright on for the extra point at the 10:47 mark, and we're an extra point away from a continuous clock. Wright's kick is up and good. We'll run that clock continuously when we come back. Valley 35, Indianola nothing.
Guys, they think they know what special means. At Godfather's Pizza, we do special, and we do it better. We add the T. There's a Godfather specialty pizza with your name on it. Classic combo, all meat combo, hot stuff, taco, yeah, even veggie and more. All of them piled high with the best toppings and 100% real cheese. Treat yourself special. Order specialty pizzas from Godfather's Pizza. The other guys.
The value of staying active cannot be overlooked in our lives or our young athletes. However, high-intensity workouts come with the risk of injury. If you or your child have sustained a sports injury, Select Physical Therapy in conjunction with Iowa Ortho are here to help with 2 convenient walk-in locations.
From diagnosis through recovery, you'll be put directly into the hands of experts who will evaluate and treat your sports-related injury.
Call us today for an evaluation.
Valley turns an INT into POINTS. I only had 1 S points. 35-0. Spelling. Is my understanding there'd be no spelling.
Well, as a good friend of mine once told me, spelling is not a sign of intelligence. But I'll tell you, Paul, it is a sign of
I don't know if that was a compliment or not. Okay. Indianola has it at their own 20. 1st and 10, Joe Jensen. Handoff to Kolarik. Colby gets a yard. And the last one off the pile for the Tigers is Jake Snyder. The fans, lots of good seats available.
Yes,
here
come
at the
on
stadium.
down. Come on down. Plenty of time.
Seat cushion night, isn't it?
Yes, indeed.
Oh, glad to have you here wherever you may be around the world watching us or on a bus headed back from a road trip. Handoff goes left side for Hildreth. He escapes one but can't escape another. Gets maybe two.
Carry on the play, number 45.
It'll be 3rd and long.
A nice job by Valley just stretching the play out. He ran a long ways to get those 3 yards.
Indians trying to keep their defense off the field just a little bit here and extend, kind of give them a chance to kind of catch themselves and find some offense. Screen is set up, and they go Hildreth. He catches it at the 25, but is stopped short of the first down. And the last one off the pile is Joe Wellman. Don't say Joe Wellman's name a lot, but he certainly does a lot for the Tigers. He is their leading tackler, 40 on the season coming into tonight.
He's really doing a nice job anchoring in on that linebacker position. But you got to really give the umpire some credit on that tackle there on the screenplay.
Yeah.
Indianola sets up a screen very well. There isn't anybody around except the umpire, who is a part of the play, by the way. And it was a situation where he ended up just being in the way enough to help Valley get back into making the play.
Timeout on the field. We'll step away. 35-0. Back after this.
Faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community. You want to get...
When people visit the Lodge of Ashworth, they fall in love with our grounds. They're impressed with our dining room, but it is our spacious 2- and 3-bedroom suites that attract the most attention. With bay windows, full kitchens, large walk-in closets, and modern appliances, the Lodge feels like home. We have suites move-in ready, or we will help you customize. Create a home office, media room, or bedroom for visiting friends or family. Call us today for a private tour and ask about our flexible pricing plans.
There was so much action in that timeout. We can tap dance again for 30 minutes.
We sure can.
We have another lightning delay here, folks. Valley leads Indianola 35-0 at Valley Stadium. Paul Yeager and Keith Bornes. And during that timeout, one little bolt was spotted, and in the night sky, it's kind of hard to miss. And so we're going to have another 30, and I see the coaching staff for both teams have put their players back into the locker room. The fans are going underneath the stands, and we're going to now sit at this one out for a little bit. But this time, we don't have too much more to say.
We really don't. And, you know...
Because I'm not to tell the Tupac Shakur story.
I don't even know who that guy is. Was. But it's funny enough, Paul, you know, here we sit explaining to the people that, yes, due to time constraints, we're going to move ahead in the broadcast. Obviously, somebody didn't think that was funny.
Right.
So we are going to have our halftime now.
Yeah.
An extended halftime. Plenty of things going to be stated in, well, it just got extended another few minutes because another bolt of lightning, so 30 minutes from that.
Nice. So the quickest we get going again is 10 o'clock. And now we're going to start getting into that other side of this game. This is just going to be a... This is almost the worst situation that Coach Swenson and Coach Kluver could ask for is get going, stop, get going, stop,
Right.
warm up, and this is where it gets to be a little more draining. So, but now the forecast has changed just a little bit. This cell, we're now looking at midnight before the lightning is supposed to start back up. So the weather is always kind of hard to predict, and right now the rain is north. It looks like it's between Ankeny and Ames. It's not even that far. It's more like it's from a line from, say, Perry to Maxwell and Collins, Elkhart, Alleman, Slater, Madrid. But there's just this tiny little cell that would have got us. After that, it looks good for a while, but holy buckets, if there is a line that extends all the way from Amarillo, Texas, Amarillo by morning,
I
up
was
from
just
San
gonna
Antonio,
say.
Metagallen, Houston, that goes all the way to Omaha. It extends so through the north part of Texas, the panhandle of Oklahoma, across Kansas, into all of southeast Nebraska, into Omaha, back to a line Denison, Carroll. If you are west of Highway 71, say Atlantic to Carroll, you're not playing anymore tonight. If you're not done,
right?
We have an area to our west that is some rain, but it just all depends where that flow goes. And actually, that line extends through Iowa up to Wisconsin, Oshkosh, Green Bay. Well, it's not quite that far, but through Stevens Point. So you got a big old line. That's a harvest delay kind of thunderstorm right there. So Valley leads 35-0. You're going to see it on the screen. It says lightning delay. The stream's not going to go away, but Keith and I are.
But not forever.
Not forever. We'll be back.
That's right.
And my thanks for your patience. We're back after this. Enjoy that V on your screen. We'll see you in a little bit from Valley Stadium. Selection, great experience. That's what people expect today. What isn't expected is how hard we work after the sale to keep your business. Hard work, honesty, integrity, discipline, trust, character. These core values are why we grow every year and why we continue to acquire more dealerships. Experience the Schottenkirk way of doing business and come visit our new Ford dealership in Indianola. Great price, great selection.
And here, we don't just dream of a better tomorrow, of a smarter way to do business or live, of perseverance and progress. We inspire it in others. We challenge the conventional, reimagine what it means to be better, and then dare ourselves to make it great. This is Iowa, and here, we don't just dream, we make history. This is Iowa.
Believes in competition and good sportsmanship. Who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game, Shields.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa. Why do I look for
opened the Hearing Clinic to offer patients and their families a positive healthcare experience. If you have trouble hearing clearly at church, at the movies, watching TV, or with your friends and family in a group conversation, what are you waiting for? In less than half an hour, we can give you peace of mind and answer any questions that you may have. Call us today to schedule your appointment. The Hearing Clinic, 515-440-3323. We listen, you hear.
Hey ladies, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month and time for our annual mammograms. Call today to schedule yours. Iowa Radiology. Our focus is your good health.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Miss your hometown clothing store? The one that had it all? Everything to get the work done, all in one place? G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us. Or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing, your size, your style, we've got it all.
Many times at the Lodge of Ashworth, new members come to us from their big, beautiful homes. They find our spacious 2 and 3 bedroom suites to be an ideal fit. We have a limited number of these larger and penthouse style suites, perfect for the retiring executive style living. We have suites ready for immediate move-in, or we can help you customize. The Lodge of Ashworth is all-inclusive, no surprise additional fees or upcharges. Call us today for a private tour and ask us about our flexible pricing plans.
Okay, ladies, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month and time for our annual mammograms. Call today to schedule yours. Iowa Radiology. Our focus is your good health.
what special means. At Godfather's Pizza, we do special, and we do it better. We add the T. There's a Godfather specialty pizza with your name on it. Classic combo, all meat combo, hot stuff, taco, yeah, even veggie and more. All of them piled high with the best toppings and 100% real cheese. Treat yourself special. Order specialty pizzas from Godfather's Pizza. The other guy.
The value of staying active cannot be overlooked in our lives or our young athletes. However, high-intensity workouts come with the risk of injury. If you or your child have sustained a sports injury, Select Physical Therapy in conjunction with Iowa Ortho are here to help with 2 convenient walk-in locations.
From diagnosis through recovery, you'll be put directly into the hands of experts who will evaluate and treat your sports-related injury.
Call us today for an evaluation. The value of staying active cannot be overlooked in our lives or our young.
Faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community. You want to get...
When people visit the Lodge of Ashworth, they fall in love with our grounds. They're impressed with our dining room, but it is our spacious 2- and 3-bedroom suites that attract the most attention. With bay windows, full kitchens, large walk-in closets, and modern appliances, the Lodge feels like home. We have suites move-in ready, or we will help you customize. Create a home office, media room, or bedroom for visiting friends or family. Call us today for a private tour and ask about our flexible pricing plans.
I'm showing you a picture on my microphone right now. Can you see it? Oh, is that not how this works?
I can see it.
If I hold my phone to, how can the microphone not pick it up? No, it's fine. Hey, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to give you this. I'm going to show you. We're going to put up a shot. This is from. This would probably be. This is. Oh, it says right there. Right, it says right there, Jimmy. 6 o'clock. This is from 6 o'clock tonight. When the rain started to fall. This is going to look, this is just, hold on. This is crazy technology. That is what the field looked like at 6 o'clock tonight when it was just a sheet. You might as well have put, you could have frozen that and had a hockey rink. They could have played hockey night in, turn your side. We could have the Blackhawks play here. All right, we're going to get a little punchy here, folks. It's 8:44 in the third quarter. We are going to play some football. Thank you, Jimmy. Awesome job. Hey, hello to wherever you may be watching us. We're still here. We might be.
Whatever day it is.
I don't even know. I tell you, I was joking with somebody at work today when I said, hey, you know, that rain, they're like, good luck. They go, this won't even be the latest game of your year, let alone your career. I still talk about that state softball game that started at 11:30 at night. But, hey, we're playing.
If you look out there, people are getting serious.
They are. We're going to have some football. 35-0, continuous clock, third quarter. The fourth down, and the Indians are going to be close. It is all going to be on the spot, Keith.
It
up
is.
to the 30.
And which official has the spot? This side looks like he's going to give it to him. I don't know what the other side's going to do.
It's going to make it, they're not even going to measure. First down, new set of downs for the Indians. So Amafadon makes the tackle. I think that was Hildreth who had it. So at 9:24 we stopped. Couple of extended portions of the delay. We go back up to the 30-yard line. Fifth play of the drive coming for the Indians. Ball on the 30. Indians just trying to cut it in so they can stop this clock and try to climb back into this football game. Handoff Hildreth up the middle, and he still falls forward before the stop by Bracken Cobb. And now the rain has again reduced to a light sifting of rain, like a mist. Mist is so overused.
I don't think it is. But that's because in school today, I watched the little Bill Nye the Science Guy, and we talked about the water cycle.
Oh, that's a good one. Hildreth, takes it up, and Cobb is there, as is. Of course, he's not right there where I want him to be. Adrian Guzman. Gain of 4. Gain of 3. It'll be 3rd and 5. About the 31. Actually, that's only a gain of 1. My gosh. When we get out of the rush of things here, I get a little rusty. We have to gear back up too. Play action. Jensen rolls near side. Here comes some pressure, and it's going to get to him. Coming up to make the sack is Jake Snyder all the way back to the 26-yard line. Loss of 5.
And that was a great job playing through the block. Snyder was able to come in. And there's always the question of how do you play through a blocker, and sometimes it's just that you have to go through them, because if you choose a side, you take yourself out of the play.
And now the Indians will line up to punt. They had made it on 4th and 1 out of the extended break, and they're gearing back up again. The sophomore looks to get the kick away and does. The rugby-style bounces at the 50 and is going to now take an Indian roll real nice inside the 40 and going to down it for Indianola is Reese Bolin. At the 30, looks like the 38-yard line. So that drive stalls out as we're at the 5:44 mark. Clock moving with continuous clock here, 35 points.
And as you were talking about, the whole concept behind that rugby-style punt is to get yardage on the roll afterward. And that was a 12-yard gain after it hit the ground.
And I think the return guy for Valley was kind of going, I might pick that up still.
Yeah. But you have to get it on the first hop, or the bounces after that get kind of crazy.
Creighton Mitchell will get the handoff and go right up the middle, and then he is wrestled down by Seth Nickum.
Jake Remsburg getting a very nice push on the left side of the ball there for the Tigers.
Up to the 44, gain of 6. Still the starters in there for Valley at this point. Still a lot of football game. This is one of those adversity weeks, doing what you can. Lombardi gives it to Creighton Mitchell. Mitchell tried to get that defender. I'll tell you what, the one thing that Indianola, I think, has done is not over-pursued plays. They have, what do you call, stop and fire, foot fire? Is that kind of what you teach there?
Well, we call it buzzing your feet. You're going to get up there, break down, buzz your feet, and then be able to play through the tackle. And Indianola across the board has done a wonderful job of breaking down, but keeping their momentum in check, and then being able to just tackle through the ball.
Lombardi under center. Gives it to Creighton Mitchell off right tackle. He's got one kick-out block, and he'll keep going. Got to give credit there. Jake Remsburg made that play for at least another 4 yards. Otherwise, I think Mitchell's tackled at midfield. So it helps the sticks move forward, at least in terms, what do you call it, keep on pace? Or
Yeah, you got to stay on pace with the chains. And there was another example there of Indianola. I haven't seen very many solo tackles. There's a lot of gang tackling done by Indianola tonight.
Gain of 6. Lombardi, misdirection play, and it's going to be illegal procedure on Valley.
And Bo was pretty happy that got blown dead.
I think so, too.
We had a few people going the wrong way. And the only people wanting to take that handoff from him were wearing opposite colored jerseys.
So we have maybe 25 students.
That's a good guess.
And maybe 30 adults.
That's a good guess.
On the far sideline, about 30. I think the students have left for Indianola.
There are now more players than spectators.
Ball goes back to the 48-yard line on a 5-yard penalty. Creighton Mitchell tries to juke and drive, gets back to what was the original line of scrimmage of that play. Actually, he's only short a yard up to the 48 of Indianola. Gain of 4.
But because of the extra down that it took, now Valley is behind the chains. You want to try and stay in that range of getting 3 yards per play.
Under 2.5 minutes to play. Lombardi, play action, or gives it to Mitchell. It's going to be short of the first down. He got to about the 30, didn't make it across the 35. It'll be at the 36. That'll actually technically be the 35 because he broke the 36, so or the 46. So gain of 3. Oh, that spot put it at the 46, not on the north side of it. 2 minutes, 4th and 4.
You knew more than what you said.
Yes. 2 receivers left and a lone setback. Handoff. Mitchell is going to get the first down. Holy buckets.
That was quite an explosive move there.
Miles Berg just held on for dear life, hoping to keep Creighton Mitchell from getting any more. On 4th and 4, the Tigers get 8. This has been the Creighton Mitchell series. And now, clock moves. The ball is at the Indianola 38-yard line. 1st and 10. Mitchell following along. And that time, Logan Mueller was moving forward and helped Mitchell, propelled Mitchell to an 8-yard gain.
Logan Mueller is one of those guys that Coach Cochran is pretty excited about his potential. He's 6'3", 310. He's got good feet, good balance. He just needs to develop and get some more experience with it.
Well, he goes left on that play, seals down for Creighton Mitchell, and Mitchell is going to be carried forward, and he'll be short of the first down. Last one off the pile is, tell you what, it's all of a sudden looking a little long for Indianola. Jacob Lepper. He kind of got up a little woozy there, just like I just got pancaked. And that is going to end the third quarter. We'll take a timeout. Quarter 4 when we come back from Valley Stadium.
Great experience. That's what people expect today. What isn't expected is how hard we work after the sale to keep your business. Hard work, honesty, integrity, discipline, trust, character. These core values are why we grow every year and why we continue to acquire more dealerships. Experience the Schottenkirk way of doing business and come visit our new Ford dealership in Indianola. Great.
And here, we don't just dream of a better tomorrow, of a smarter way to do business or live, of perseverance and progress. We inspire it in others. We challenge the conventional, reimagine what it means to be better, and then dare ourselves to make it great. This is Iowa, and here, we don't just dream, we make history. This is Iowa.
Bo Lombardi's night is done, Keith.
Yeah.
As we go to quarter number 4, it'll be Blake Edwards.
Blake Edwards had a very nice game earlier in the week. Monday night, they had a JV game. And Blake Edwards, I believe he was 8 for 8 in the game against Dowling. We'll see what he's got up here tonight.
And Mitchell stays in the game. Edwards hands off to Mitchell, who goes right and then cuts back left and gets enough for the first down. He needed 1. He got 4. 3. 4. That's 4.
Paul,
I can do math, trust me.
Why not? Paul, have you ever wondered what it takes to be?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask if I like gladiator movies.
Well, yeah.
Have I ever wondered
how one could be classified as the most committed fans?
Because you stay after 2 30-minute rain delays, and actually 3 if you count our beginning.
Yes.
penalty on the play. It'll be a legal procedure.
I'm
against Valley.
gonna go ahead and throw out the Shaner family.
Yeah.
As probably one of those that's fairly well committed to Valley football tonight, as the entire Shaner family and the Wright family are seated right below us.
And I don't know if it's permanent, but the cheerleaders have come up into the stands, and there's almost more cheerleaders than students now. Actually, they're going they're going back down onto the field. Edwards, actually, it's another new quarterback, and that is incomplete. And getting a chance to throw the football was Garrett Davis. And now Blake. Okay, Blake Edwards comes back in.
This is one of those deals where sometimes you can just use your quarterbacks to run the plays in and out.
And you keep everybody in the game, but you're not seeing the backup, J.J. Gass, who's listed as the number 2.
Well, there's a reason for that, Paul.
Handoff, Creighton Mitchell looking for something. Makes a couple of Indians come with him to the turf. And tackle is Chase Davison.
A couple of weeks ago up at Fort Dodge, J.J. Gass got into the game in the second half, and he took a hit out of bounds, and I believe he broke his collarbone.
Ooh. That's not good.
No.
That's like usually a season-ending thing.
Kind of, sort of.
Edwards. No, actually, this is back to, and now we have a different running back. The handoff was Garrett Davis, was the quarterback on that play. And Tegan Ho, the junior, gets the running back, or gets the carry. It'll be 4th and 7, under 9 minutes to play. Valley trying to take some time out here. Up 35-0. See what Edwards can do. Claps, hands off, and that's going to be short of the first down. Tegan Ho, not much room past the 20. And we'll have a change of possession, and here come the Indians' offense back out onto the field. And they have a lot of their starters still.
Yep. And
I see, I see Kolaric
and
Joe Jensen.
Valley's defense has a little change of cast.
Eight minutes to go in the contest. Joe Jensen at quarterback. Handoff. Hildreth. And he's going to be wrapped up. At first, it was John Shaner and Mason Mocricky. And that's a nice pickup there by Hildreth. Average is he's got 13 touchdowns on the season. He averages 6 yards a carry. And he got almost 6 on that play. Jensen throws far sideline, dropped. Cole Scott, the intended receiver, 4 touchdowns on the season. You know, one of the things I was talking about with you, Keith, during the break, because I hadn't had a chance to share this story, that Coach Eric Kluver played in college, played at Ankeny, then he went to Minnesota State, and at the time, now it's called Minnesota State Mankato. And he was a teammate with another player from Ankeny, Mike Kaiser, and they went up to play. But one of the assistant coaches that those two Ankeny boys had was a guy named Tony Lombardi, the father of Bo and Rocky Lombardi. It's a small little world. Jensen throws, and it's caught, and still on his feet trying to turn it around the edge is Evan Gogger. He's got the first down, and he's approaching Tiger territory.
Nice play by Geiger as he hauls in the catch. Had to give a little ground to gain a lot of ground. Chris Sayon was in there to literally have a touchdown saving tackle.
And the Indians have life. They're in midfield. Jensen throws, intercepted by the Tigers, picked off by Roy Jensen, 5'9", 168-pound junior. He was right there, looked like it was thrown right to him. And that may have allowed us to be out of here before 11 o'clock. Not that it matters to us.
That's right. Because we, too, like the Shaners,
we're here till the bitter end.
We're dedicated to it.
Now, you may have to wake up Jimmy next to you. He's starting to look, he's got, gosh, you guys, I've heard these stories. I can't deal with you guys 2 weeks in a row. Thank goodness Amadeo's here next week for the last two. Dowling will be at Valley Stadium the next 2 weeks. Valley will be on the road as a handoff, Tegan Ho. Oh, Tegan's got some room. He's at the 40, 45, approaching midfield into the Indian territory. Still on his feet. It's going to take a white scrum to bring him down at the 47-yard line. Great run by Tegan Ho. Love it.
And a great push up front by Valley's offensive line. One of the things that Valley has been able to do tonight is just kind of wear down Indianola's defense. A lot of guys going both ways for Indianola. And as things have kind of unfolded, Valley's just been able to stay a little fresher.
Blake Edwards gives it to Ho left side, who cuts through. Boy, he is popped. Big hit there for the Indians. That's Wes Hogard, 5'11", 225-pound junior. Tigers will go to Newton and then to Marshalltown, and Indianola goes home for their last two. They'll host Fort Dodge and host Newton. So I did not see, and I haven't looked, how that Southeast Polk Newton game has turned out, because that is big. There's going to be, second place is going to be up to debate. And that was a blitz all the way. Coming on the corner was Cole Hewlin, and he sacks Garrett Davis as we approach 3.5 minutes to play. Let's see if I can look that up here.
That would be good to know.
Curious?
I am a little. I am a little curious.
That game tonight at Southeast Polk. Tegan Ho at the 50, 45. He'll be well short of the first down, as it'll be fourth down coming up at the 3-minute mark. And 3 hours ago, B.J. Shaban had tweeted that it was 14-0 Polk. Rams defeat Newton 49-14. That was the final an hour ago. Like I said, there's people watching us because they're already at home. 4th and 8 for the Tigers. Ho gets it, and he is going to try to get those feet moving. He is going to be well short of the first down, and the Indians again will get a chance to move the ball forward. And this time, and Joe Jensen is on the sideline, so we're going to have a new quarterback for Indianola, and it is going to be, well, I thought it was VC. He's listed, but I think it's going to be, oh no, they're going even different. They're not even going with their second string. They're going to Braden Wireman, a 5'9" sophomore. Welcome to the big time. Handoff. Oh, what a pop. Oh, my. Cole Hewlin just took his Valley defender with him up to the 45, put that shoulder down as we're coming up on the 100-second mark.
Avery Bonacci on the tackle. But one of the things that you got to make sure when you are getting yourself ready to go on a tackle, you don't want to get caught with your feet planted. You got nothing to get yourself going to through as far as driving through a tackle.
And Hewlin is stopped. Avery Bonacci.
On a much better tackle.
And Uriel Salinas Reyes.
Uriel. Yep.
Uriel
Salinas Reyes.
1 minute to play. 35 Valley. Indianola nothing. And Indianola will run it out right side again. And Hewlin, the senior, carries it towards midfield, but he'll be short. And there's probably one more play in the tank at 4th and 3. And they will have to run one play. And I think Coach Kluver is over there. If you watch WHO TV, you saw Coach Kluver's dad, Jerry, on doing the gardening thing for a number of years.
Jerry, great guy.
Hewlin gets the carry, and he's got the first down. He's across the 50, and that is the way the ball game ends. At 10:15, we have a final.
That was a fast fourth quarter.
Thank goodness for
We started at
continuous-
10 o'clock,
Yeah.
done at 10:15.
Yeah, that was simple. Could handle that. We only, I think we're here for 45 minutes. I don't know, 45 minutes an hour. All right, something like that. It was kind of crazy. Valley wins 35-0. They'll raise the W flag in orange and black. And we, Keith, need to just wrap this up and just really kind of go home. Some people would say that.
I tend to agree.
You okay with that? Because your game started at what time today?
Our game started at 4:30.
Yeah.
And we finished in a downpour at about 6.
Yeah, that's when it really hit here.
Yeah. And then we made our way down here, maybe sat in the parking lot just a little bit before we ventured out to get into the stadium in another downpour.
Yeah.
So it's been kind of a long day.
Yeah, it has. And that'll end the regular season for the Tigers here at the stadium. Most likely in line to have one playoff game here if things go.
If they continue.
Chalk.
Yes.
For the last two. Keith Bornes, Paul Yeager, as we wrap this one up. Valley scored in the first quarter on a 2-yard run by Javon Mason. It was only 7-0 after the first quarter. Then in the second quarter, it was a 30-yard run by Trey Fugate, and that was after a big penalty, made it 14-0. In the second quarter, a 5-play, 86-yard drive, 55-yard touchdown run by Javon Mason, 21-0 at that point. And then Peter said, "Let there be light." And then in the end of the second quarter, 19-yard touchdown pass, Bo Lombardi to Tariq Brown, 28-0. And then Trey Fugate, a 10-yard. That was really the all-Trey drive after the interception by Victor Areola, 35-0. Tigers win. Now, here's the thing, and I've been thinking about this. Valley is ranked 3rd in the state, seen as, the second-best team in the West behind Dowling. When teams look at Valley, they are going to look at stats and go, how's this team 7-1? How are they winning? I mean, Lombardi stats aren't flashy. Mason's stats aren't flashy. Fugate and Mitchell also getting yards and times and things like that. Not over the top, but all I do is win no matter what, is what the Tigers say.
Right. If you were to look back several years but switch it over to the defensive side, I don't know that we have ever been in a situation where our leading tackler has had the same number of tackles as anybody that we've played.
Yeah.
Their leading tacklers are always more than what ours are. But what it seems to have been over the last several years is that it's a balance of tackles.
Yeah.
And now this year, it's really a balanced attack on who are you going to go to. There's a lot of different people to go to. If we didn't have all the receivers and it was just one, if you add all the receivers' stats up, there's some pretty good numbers.
Yeah.
You add up all.
Right. Collectively as a team.
Collectively, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's it from the regular season here at Valley Stadium. The Tigers go 4-0 as the home team in this building. 4-1 overall as they lost to Dowling in that what was a home game for Dowling back in week 3. So on the road, and then in the playoffs, it's my understanding, Keith, that we will have audio only of the playoffs.
Only?
Because you can't have live video of the playoffs as per the Iowa High School Athletic Association.
So video would be released the next morning?
I don't even think we're going to do the video
no
period.
video.
It's just going to do audio,
Okay.
so we'll have to be descriptive. They won't get to see your shining face.
But you are descriptive.
Well, we do what we can. Thank you. And thank you for watching us and staying with us on this delay-plagued night. Valley holds on for a 35-0 win, and they're on the road for the next 2 nights, but keep it here to CISN. We'll have more games featuring Johnston, Waukee, and Dowling Catholic. For Keith Bornis and the rest of the crew here at CISN, which at one point I think we had the whole press box filled with. It was like a family reunion of sorts.
That's right.
Thank you so very much for watching. Good night from Valley Stadium.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa. Why do I look for the seal?
I opened the Hearing Clinic to offer patients and their families a positive healthcare experience. If you have trouble hearing clearly at church, at the movies, watching TV, or with your friends and family in a group conversation, what are you waiting for? In less than half an hour, we can give you peace of mind and answer any questions that you may have. Call us today to schedule your appointment. The Hearing Clinic, 515-440-3323. We listen, you hear.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Miss your hometown clothing store? The one that had it all? Everything to get the work done, all in one place? G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us, or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L